Alrighty, guys, we are back here for another episode of Crunch Time. Man, do we got a good one for you tonight. We got D. David Jones to my left. I'm Darryl McCoy, producer KJ on the boards, and we got a treat for you tonight. We got the legend on the airwaves here, Mr. Joe Kinser.
As long as I can stay awake tonight, that's my goal. Stay awake to what, 11:30, 11:45?
11.
12?
11.
Okay, 11 o'clock. That's the goal. Stay awake till 11.
I hope you ain't driving back north. You gonna stay around here?
I'm in Logan.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm in Logan.
Man, listen, we ain't got insurance for you.
No, we're lucky to have Mr. Kinser here. As guys, we got a great show lined up for you guys. A lot of topics to hit on. It was a great week of football. Well, not for everyone, but it was a great week.
Touche. That's all right. I like it.
But guys, listen, before we come, if you want to know why we're all pepped and ready to go.
I've been waiting to do this.
David over here digging in, guys. The newest crave, the hottest new thing in food and grub here in the mountains is home plate delivery based in the Williamson Belfry area. Right now, it's a new lunch delivery service in the Williamson Belfry area offering fresh, home-prepared meals with an entree, side, and dessert. Check out their Facebook page, Home Plate Delivery, or message Jonna Banks for more information. Italian grinder sandwich, salami, ham, pepperoni, provolone cheese, and lettuce, tomato, onion with a special sandwich dressing. Sides are pasta salad and a dessert. Tomorrow's special is homemade chicken salad croissant, crackers, cheese cubes, watermelon with feta cheese, and dessert. Order tonight for Thursday, though, guys. I promise you, they brought us food up here. Every one of us right now have their bellies full, ready to give you guys a great show. Home plate delivery. Follow them.
Yeah, I wanted to wait and try that on air, but I ate it beforehand.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good, and it's really healthy too.
That's what I like about it.
Yes, and it's really healthy for you, and not only that. If it helps the community, because if you're at work, it's going to be hard to try to go off lunch to try to get a lunch, or or sit in the traffic or get something fresh.
Yep.
And all you got to do is pre-order that. You pre-order the day before or whatever, and they be waiting on you with a certain time, whatever you give them, and all that good stuff. But
you're tired of getting that greasy food.
Yes.
That's just bad for your health, especially when you get my age. And this is something that it's made fresh. You get everything. You get your vegetables, you get your fruits, you get your desserts, everything. Joe, you had to taste it. What do you think about it?
I'm just not saying this because the Banks has brought this up here, okay? I'm not the biggest fan of pasta salad. That's the best pasta salad I've ever ate in my life.
I know, because
hands
he
down.
was over there quiet.
Yeah, hands down.
And I went over to the restroom. I looked. I said, it was gone. It's like he licked the bowl.
Yeah, it was gone.
What? He was over there going.
I was like Joey Chestnut, baby.
After telling me before he come up here he was on a diet and he wasn't going to, he said, no matter what y'all throw in front of me, I'm not eating.
Yeah.
Well, home plate delivery got through to him, guys. Follow him on Facebook.
Don't let him lie. He ate the cake too.
Guys, as we're sitting here, listen, it was a big week of football here in the mountains. I made the trip up north. Our friends at RSN and HD Media, who as you move up a little north of our area here, I promise there's not a better media outlet and a more respectable media outlet than RSN and HD Media, who we partner with. Well, every week we go and we do a game or two for them. Mm-hmm. They're kind of like a sister network with us. We've, they're amazing guys over there, Dana, Doug, and the crew. But went up Parkersburg, and on the way up there, man, it took forever. The D&D mobile, man, it's on its last legs. But we got up there, me and Kevin May, and I'm telling you, David, last year, me, you, KJ, Thomas, all of us went to St. X. And, we always said that was the nicest stadium that we've called a game in, minus Marshall, of course.
Yeah.
But Parkersburg, man, I'm telling you, dude, that right there, it had to be, I don't know the history. I know it started in 1900, but that has to be a former college or professional stadium, because the side, both bleachers was bigger than what yours bleachers, your home bleachers
Oh,
are
wow.
here, both sides. And one side they didn't even use, and it's like in a fortress. It's got like a big brick wall. There's like
Oh.
a fort, and
Sort of like Ironton. Like,
yeah, a lot like it. And
Yeah.
then their press box actually has 2 press boxes, double deckers, 2 stories high, and they got bridges that connect.
Wow.
I'm telling you, the nicest stadium in West Virginia I've been to. Joe, you ever caught a game at Parkersburg?
A few times, yes. I have It wasn't Parkersburg High. It was Parkersburg Catholic when they played. I can't remember, years ago. One of the single A schools. It was
Yeah.
a playoff game. Yeah, and they've renovated that stadium several times throughout the years. I know when I was in high school at Logan in the early '90s, it was a little rough way to go, and they put in a lot of money into that stadium. Like you says, it's
Yeah.
quite have a few years on it, but it's top notch right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can tell that it's like there's history there. When St. X was new, fresh,
Right.
this here was bigger than St. X, nicer, but it had the history feel to it. And the thing that I liked is there was a set of bleachers almost the size of y'all's bleachers out here, which I always say is probably the biggest home bleachers in our coverage area. But they had a set of bleachers in the end zone for the Pep team, and it was filled to the gill. Even the Pep was flooded over along the fences.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was unbelievable. And I tell you, the ball game didn't disappoint as Parkersburg and George Washington.
Yeah.
And
It's always a battle.
Oh, it came down, man, to the end. I mean, it was a defensive battle there, and George Washington ended up putting a few touchdowns on the board there at the end and getting a win over Parkersburg. But I'm telling you, I've enjoyed my experience up
That's
there.
awesome. I like to get up there and watch a game one time.
Yeah, and this week we will have, thanks to our partners at RSN, we will have Wayne versus Herbert Hoover, and we'll have Joe Kinser and producer KJ
Oh, okay.
on it. So,
Nice.
yeah, so a lot there, but a place that you are very familiar with and a place that you've coached at is one of our first stories on the show tonight, the U-Pike Bears.
Oh, okay.
So U-Pike, Derek Griffith, 10 receptions, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now that is a school record for yardage for a receiver. U-Pike ended up beating Union in that one, 52-10. You had Lee Kirkland, the QB, ended up having went 38 for 58, which tied a school record for completions,
Wow.
or broke a school record. 614 yards, broke a school record, and then tied the TD record with 6 touchdowns on the night. Yeah, in that 52-10
Wow.
win over Union.
That's huge. I know there was some record-breaking things going on that day. We had several of our minors over there on a game day visit, and they enjoyed it well. It was exciting that they come back and was like, "Hey, coach, man, that was awesome."
Yeah.
And that's a local college, where you can stay home, close to home, and get an excellent education. So I was pretty excited to hear him come back and say that, and was like, "Coach, man, they got some ballers," So
Yeah.
that was pretty exciting to come back saying that. They got a couple, and they actually they met up with Bad News Brett, man.
Yeah, Bad News Brett Coleman, yeah.
Hey, his name has changed at Pikeville now.
What is it?
Bad Intentions, Brett.
Bad
Bad
Intentions Brett.
Intentions Brett.
Well, they got to meet up with him, and they got a picture. I wish I would have got it to y'all beforehand, but they got a picture with him, and it's great to see our young men here having somebody like Brett to look up to, man, and that's one of their biggest role models and stuff. So it's awesome to see that.
Listen, there's no safety that can lay the lumber like Brett
Oh,
Coleman.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a safety leading your team in tackles
Yeah.
at Belfry. I mean, that was wild.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's like a Josh Dixon.
yeah, a lot like it. And
Yeah.
then, but I mean, if I'm not mistaken, now he tied the TDs, the 6 TDs. Ain't that Sonny Warren?
Yeah, Sonny, his debut at U-Pike, I was calling the game down at Mitchell Stadium against Bluefield, and he had 6 touchdowns, and I was joking around on the broadcast. I said, man, Sonny's been saving that arm for 4 years. And yeah.
He had more touchdowns in his first game at U-Pike than he had his whole career probably at Belfry.
Throwing the ball, yeah. Sonny, I always knew that Sonny was, was just one of those athletic quarterbacks. But he always reminded me of a Jonathan Wright.
Yeah.
And he was just so. What Sonny had is I still to this day haven't seen in anyone I've coached, and it was the poise, and it was just that umph that he just brought, man.
Yeah.
You never rattled him. You could score on him. You could do all this stuff, but he never rattled him. Like, he was a legitimate leader, and I love that. I mean, I'm still waiting to have a kid to come through like that, but I've never had it.
No, Sonny was a special athlete, and Lee Kirkland. I like that Coach Hoskins reached out, and he's like one of my former guys. Coach Hoskins was a great quarterback in his own right at UPike. So definitely UPike Bears Coach Phipps seems to finally get things rolling there in Pikeville. And if I'm not mistaken, is that a 3-game win streak?
Yeah,
that they're on right now?
They got them local boys over there.
Yeah, taking care of business.
Yeah.
So when you get the best of the best here in the mountains,
dude, we can play with anybody.
Yeah, that's it.
We can play with anybody. You just put us in the right situation, we can play with anybody in the nation.
Absolutely. So big congrats there. Let's move west to Lexington, as the Kentucky Wildcats, I know, got to make you happy, as you got the Kentucky Blue rocking tonight.
Yes, sir.
Taking care of Florida for the 3rd straight year, where Kentucky defeated them 35-14. Impressive fashion there. Ray Davis, sweet baby Ray, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns on the night. Did you ever think that we would be at the point to where we're actually better than Florida? I mean, 3 years, the way that we beat them, I think we're the better program now.
Yeah, I mean, and you can tell, it's been a consistency.
Yeah.
So you can go in now, and it can go either or. I think the next step to our program we're going to see is going to be this week.
Yeah.
And if we can get in and go into Georgia and beat them, because you got to understand, we beat Georgia every now and then also. That's not been a streak like that.
Yeah.
The biggest streak we've had against us was Florida.
Yeah.
But, now that Stoops has came in and they just been chopping the wood and cutting those streaks, I don't even know what streaks there is now.
Obviously Tennessee's the big one that you want to continue to get.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is the one.
That's
absolutely.
the next step.
Yeah. But the next step moving forward with this program.
And listen, right now the receivers still lead the nation in drop passes. Imagine once you get that passing game going.
I know, and it's I know a lot don't like not Levis, but Leary or whatever, but at the same time, he's putting the ball there.
Yeah, it's not on Leary.
Right, you got to catch the ball, but at the end of the day, that run game, baby.
Yep,
and the big blue wall is coming back to life.
Yep, I agree. We got Jacob Ruth for tuning in, and active in the comment section says couple AA schools getting consolidating up here in northern West Virginia. He says Sonny could have went and played bigger college ball if he could have used his arm in high school. And then Jacob Ruthford says WVU is 4-1, who Joe is proudly rocking the Mountaineer shirt.
Neil Brown might be saving his job this year, guys. and I tell you, I'm eating crow as well. And that was a big-time win for WVU because they made the adjustments. They were rushing 4 in the first half, and then they're like, hey, let's rush that extra defender. And I think they shut TCU out in the second half.
Yep.
That's big, but they suffered catastrophic injuries, and they've lost one guy for the rest of the year, and I think somebody else for a knee injury. 2 linemen, offensive linemen. One got the Milam kid that went to Spring Valley, Milam.
Yeah.
I broadcast a few of his basketball games when he played down here, especially in the shootout several years ago. He got poked in the eye after a play, and it swelled his eye shut.
Wow.
But I tell you, but they got the bye week. They got Dana Hogerson and the Houston Cougars down in Texas in a couple of weeks on a Thursday night. But big-time win. And one thing about the Mountaineers this year, they have something that my Pittsburgh Steelers don't, and that is an identity.
Yeah.
They're rugged. They have a veteran offensive line, and they like to pound the football.
Well, do they got? Is there a chance that WVU can go 8-1 going into that Oklahoma game?
I can't remember who all they have, but they should beat Houston. That's 5. Yeah. Oklahoma State's homecoming, and they're a train wreck right now. 6. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. The Big 12, except for Texas, they're in shambles this year. And Oklahoma,
you're right.
In the SEC, Alabama struggled this year. Georgia, Clemson. Now the ACC, they've fallen off big time. I don't know if it's NIL or the transfer portal or what, but I think ESPN has the Mountaineers favored 5 out of 7 games, and And I thought West Virginia this year, to be honest with you, would probably win 4, maybe 5 games. David, I thought you'd win 5 or 6, but I'm wrong on that prediction as well.
You're eating a lot of crow.
I'm eating a lot of crow.
Well, as you sit here, I spent my Saturday in Huntington at the Marshall game, and man, not a better tailgate out there east of Lexington than Marshall.
They know how to get down.
They definitely do. And right now, Marshall has everything clicking up there.
Yes. Yeah, man. I'm always going to be a big fan of Marshall. I was a Marshall guy going up. I was very close from going to Marshall.
Yep.
Almost left to, Kentucky to go to Marshall also when Snyder was there. But, I always say, and he's one of mine, is Big Dalton Tucker, the starting left guard there. Call him a big lumberjack, but I'm always proud of him, and I'm always rooting for him and love his success, and I know he's getting a lot of NFL looks right now too, so I can't wait to see what his future may hold.
Dalton Tucker and the pain train.
Yes, it.
So the guys, producer KJ sending us the break. When we come back, it's ladies' night here on Crunch Time, as we got a couple big stories of some ladies making big news in the mountains here in the last couple days. And guys, we have a full night of football to get you caught up on. Make sure you guys come back on Crunch Time, guys. Remember, home plate delivery, go like them. We'll be right back here on Crunch Time.
Come on down to Gilbert Produce Market, located in Gilbert, West Virginia. They have daily lunch and dinner specials, seasonal produce and plants, home-cooked meals and friendly service. They offer catering for special occasions and holidays, party trays, and they were also voted 2023 Coalfield's Best Milkshake and Community Market. You can catch them Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday to Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come on down to Gilbert Produce Market, located in Gilbert, West Virginia, 304-664-5600.
Come on down to the Loose Caboose Grill in Kermit, West Virginia, a one-in-a-kind eating experience here in the mountains. You get great food, great service, and a chance to make memories with your loved ones. Eat outside or take the action inside, where you can sign the walls of Big Red while enjoying fresh food inside a historical landmark. We look forward to seeing you here at the Loose Caboose.
Come down to Trailblazers Outfitters, located right off the 4-lane from Williamson, West Virginia, to hop on your new rental of side-by-sides, dirt bikes, or four-wheelers. They also have four-wheeler, dirt bike, and side-by-side repairs, along with accessories, tires, and stereo systems, and a large repair shop. Give them a call today at 859-953-0903 to get your new rental to enjoy the trails today.
All right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time. This segment of the show is sponsored by Conley Brothers Giovanni's.
Yeah, the Conley Brothers Giovanni's is our newest sponsor on board. Come on board. Well, they're not new. They've been with us the whole time. Biggest supporter of the Prestonsburg athletics and area athletes. Make sure Conley Brothers Giovanni's, guys, I promise, pizza, pasta needs, Conley Brothers Giovanni's has you covered. Not a better turnover. Their pizzas are good. Best salad bar of any Giovanni's that I know. Well, that's in Kentucky. Now we do got a good one in Logan too.
Yes.
So, but guys, Conley Brothers Giovanni's want to thank Corey Conley and all he does for mountain athletics. This segment is sponsored by Conley Brothers Giovanni's. So, as I mentioned, ladies' nights. We got a lot of girls making noise, and I would be remiss if we didn't start with Carrie Ann Cook. Carrie Ann Cook, Westside Renegade, won a state title. Not only did she win a state title, the only girl to ever win a state title in golf. She beat the boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's huge. I've seen a lot of coverage on that this weekend.
Yeah.
And this week, too.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of coverage on that, and that is big time.
Joe, what do you know about Carrie Ann Cook?
I was sitting there wondering if she's related to Larry Cook, good buddy of mine. I mean, there's a lot of Cooks over here, but that's big. That's huge, for here in southern West Virginia. It's like you said, boys, I didn't know about that. And so I read the website coming up here to Minor Mountain tonight and everything.
Golfers in southern West Virginia has won a state title. I know David Yu did at Tug Valley back in the day, but can you remember of any other one?
No.
Golfer in southern West Virginia, I can't either.
No.
So, listen, facts are optional, but right now it's Kerry Ann Cook and Davy Jude.
I'm excited. We have golf up here now at Mingo Central.
Oh, do you?
Yes, we sure do, and I'm excited about that. We got, I know a couple of guys that's on the golf team. Well, actually, the mayor of Matewan, his son is on the golf team.
Yep.
And stuff too, and he's done pretty good in a tournament. I seen that they did or whatnot, but they're going to be pretty solid, I think.
Guys, get them numbers up. Hit that like and share button. Is Twisted Gun still in business?
Yes, it is.
I used to deliver.
I think that's where
there.
I think
it's where they play.
Where they play it or practice it or something like. I think.
Yeah. And listen, that's one thing here in the mountains that we don't get credit for, but we got some of the best golf courses on the East Coast.
Absolutely.
I mean, some of the most unique when you talk about Twisted Gun and Stonecrest.
Well, you got to also think about the one down at Hatfield or Matewan at Low Beta. It's one of
talking about Sprigg.
Sprigg, yeah, it's the one of the only ones you can hit from one state to the other.
That is
so
true.
If you hit from West Virginia, you hit over the river, you're in Kentucky.
Well, let me tell you a little story about that real quickly. My grandpa used to, I don't know exactly what it was he run there, but he run like the coal mines where I remember there's big coal piles, and when boats would come down the river, they would scrape the river out, and them coal piles would be there, and trucks would come and get them, and he was over that, the coal mines there, right on the river at Sprigg. And as a kid, I used to take coffee cans and I would climb them coal piles, and you could stay out there all day long and picking golf balls. And my grandpa, he had me out there thinking it was fun, but he was reselling them balls to the golf course. And I was having a ball going to get them. But a little story there about Sprigg Golf Course.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell you another good golf course, Raven Rock over towards Jenkins.
Yeah.
Raven Rock? Yeah, I've never been there.
Yeah, oh man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and then
it's beautiful.
Well, have you been to the one there at the Indico Run there?
No.
What's that one called? The country club there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know
right
where.
Marlowe's.
Yeah. I've never been there. And then up there, this is years ago, back up in the 90s. I know if it's still there, but up in Man, they had that 9-hole golf course. Okay, and I used to golf there. I used to try to get into golfing years ago. Yeah. I was like, how in the heck is this stress free? Because I get mad. But there was this family cemetery up there, and I'm left-handed. I hooked one time, sliced one. That's the terminology. Okay, hit off a tombstone. About took my buddy's head off. And then Clear Fork over at Wyoming County. Now, if you want to just somewhere that you can hit wide open, Clear Fork over in Wyoming County. I've golfed there quite a few times.
That's down by Westside High School.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so a lot of unique golf courses here in the mountains, and but right now Kerry Ann Cook taking a state title back to Oceana.
That's awesome.
Congrats! I mean, that right there is a huge story. You can see all the information right now on dndsports.com. We got all the information for you guys at home to get you caught up on Kerry Ann Cook, and I want to kind of move over from the golf business over to the business of volleyball. And we had volleyball action on D&D Sports Network on Tuesday night. Me and the Maestro was covering Prestonsburg and Eastridge. And it was Kaylee Sick was the dominating player for the Warriors. Went and kind of ruined senior night at Prestonsburg and getting a win for the Warriors. And Kaylee Sick was the Mingy Beef Jerky player of the game. Last night you had Cortland Phillips, who ended up getting a milestone 1,500 digs against Pikeville.
That's awesome.
So Eastridge volleyball right now, everything clicking there for Taliana Murphy.
That's awesome, man. That's real big. Congratulations.
Yeah. So we got a lot of people tuning in. Jason Miller says, watching from Hazard, getting excited for tomorrow night. The seating and brackets reveal show for middle school playoffs will be going on.
Hazard better be number one. If they not, I know a couple of guys on that committee down there. I will call them.
Yep, the Logan Barker says, I can't hang with y'all about to fall asleep.
Hey,
Said,
Logan.
I'm going to try to stay up and watch. Logan, you better watch because we're going to quiz you on it later.
Hey, and I want to give a big shout out to Logan, man. He writes articles for us. You know, he's a student here at Mingo Central, and he does a wonderful job.
He does an amazing
Yes,
job. You know,
man.
we got one of the best in the business, Bradley Damon Training.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I mean, I look forward to hopefully Logan works with us for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
man. He does such a great job, Logan. I just wanted to give you a big shout out, big dog.
He absolutely does.
And
So-
he's a great soccer player too, by the way. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get him out for football.
Yeah. Well, he is playing a different style of football there.
Yeah,
so.
that is true. Yeah.
Hey, how about Luke Fugit tuning in all the way from Winchester? Luke, we're missing you, bud. We hope everything's going well. Keep us, listen, we adopt athletes here in the mountains. Even though you're there, you're still one of us. Let us know how you're doing and send us your highlights and stuff so we can make sure we keep the mountains updated on you, man. Glad to see you tuning in, Luke. So Logan Barker says y'all need a kicker.
We do.
There you go. So yeah, there's a spot on every team. Listen, this week, you know, I mean, I can't wait till we come back here for the third segment, get into high school football. Guys, hit that like and share button, get them numbers up, because when we come back, we're going to release the Double Quick Player of the Week, the Mingy Beef Jerky Primetime Performers, and we will also go into last week's games, which I know Coach Jones is dreading.
I don't care, man.
Yeah.
We got smacked.
Got to get better, don't you?
We got smacked.
Nah, you didn't, well, we'll talk about when we come back, guys. I promise you don't want to miss this. Come right back and join us. If you've recently had a loved one pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Burgee, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones. If you was pushed out of the area because of loss of work in the coal industry, look no longer. Jim Marr is here for you. Jim Marr is now hiring for all positions in the coal field. Stop by their offices in Logan, West Virginia or in Wheeling, West Virginia and apply today.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 and reach us Monday through Friday.
If you're looking for a great selection and a great experience for your next Harley-Davidson, come on down to Mountain State Harley-Davidson here in Del Barton, West Virginia.
We have new 2023 models in stock and ready for delivery. Special financing available.
Or choose pre-owned with one of the largest inventories in the tri-state area with great low prices.
Visit our showroom filled with licensed Harley-Davidson apparel and more.
Don't write that check until you check with us, Mountain State Harley-Davidson, 61 Priest Bottom Road, or visit us online at mountainstatehd.com.
Looking for a great selection, great prices, and a great experience on your next ATV, motorcycle, or side-by-side? Come check out Kiefer's Kawasaki.
Our number one goal is to offer you the best power sport experience at a great price.
Like this new 23 Kawasaki Teryx 4 for only $17,999.
Before you write that check, check with us.
And remember, your adventure starts here at Kiefer Kawasaki. Route 44 South, Jerry West Highway in Logan, or visit KiefersPowersports.net.
All right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time. This segment of the show is sponsored by Crum Funeral Home.
Crum Funeral Home also been with us a long time and come on as one of our family of sponsors yesterday. And David, that's one business people are dying to get into.
I say so.
Yeah, but no, listen, at Crum Funeral Home, Michael Crum, Angie, they are two of the generous people that you'll ever meet. That you can get great deals on caskets, monuments, and the thing I like about them is they're going to make sure they show the compassion when you lose a loved one. I wouldn't want one of my loved ones in any other hands than Crum Funeral Home.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree.
So make sure, guys, if you're in the Inez area, Crum Funeral Home, remember, hit them up. Tell them D&D Sports sent you. If you can speak.
Yeah.
As we are moving on the show here, David, it was a wild week here. We had a lot of people putting up big numbers, and none of them bigger than what I consider the most underrated athlete in the mountains, and I think maybe the most since Isaac Dixon, this might be the biggest athlete that we got in the mountains, or best athlete, just pure athlete in Aiden Barnett there at McGoffin County. KJ, what was his numbers?
Player of the week, Aiden Barnett, 5 of 7, 132 yards, 3 touchdowns, 10 carries for 78 yards, and 2 touchdowns. McGoffin County 50, Powell 25.
I mean, Powell County is no mistake. We've had them on D&D Sports a couple times. That we recently added them to our coverage area. Mm-hmm. That's a very tough team, and right now it seems like Coach DeRossa has things rolling there at McGoffin County, and it's all started since Aiden Barnett's been back under center.
That's why I say they got their big dog back, and you know DeRossa's not going to be down for long, and the general he always get it rolling, and I'm happy to see that, man. That's big time for him.
Yeah, 6 touchdowns, and as you can see the highlights here in the background, Joe, I mean, you've obviously been around John DeRossa for many years. What's your thoughts on John DeRossa and how both of his seasons here has started? They started kind of slow, but as we come to the end, they've got clicking.
He was hired for one reason, and that's to build up that McGoffin County program, and John DeRoss has been successful. I mean, he was successful a very, very long time at Parkersburg, and he's going to be successful at McGoffin County. Does things the right way. He wants to make sure that midget league program, that middle school feeder program, they're going to be strong. Make sure they want to go up underneath his system, and that's just a good win there for McGoffin County. They got some young, good athletes.
Their middle school is unreal right now, and the high school taking care of business. So Ian McCarty, 19 rushes, 166 yards, a touchdown, also returned the kickoff for a touchdown. Dason Burcha had 2 receptions, 68 yards, 2 TDs, and Curtis Jenkins, 11 tackles, 1 sack. Powell County was led by Aiden Larson, 2 for 2 for 27 yards and a touchdown, had 19 carries for 74 yards, while Preston Sprangler had 24 rushes for 223 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 11 tackles on defense. This Sprangler kid, man, he went out in the Floyd Central game and was the biggest difference in that ball game. But that Powell County team, a lot of people consider them a gimmick team because of the way their offense is run. But this is a team that you better get ready to defend the run when you play them because, it's no secret. Kind of like when you play Belfry, you know what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can tell they got athletes.
Yeah.
And they got their big dog back, too, So, I mean, they may be a force to reckon with because, in Kentucky, everybody get to go to the playoffs. And, and it may be their turn.
There's somebody that could shock somebody in that first round.
Absolutely.
So, it's definitely interesting there, but I'm glad to see, Aiden Barnett, double quick player of the week, 6 touchdowns. You knew at the beginning of the year, I would have put any player that you could have brought me up, if you asked me one player to guarantee they would have been a double quick player of the week this year, I would have picked Aiden Barnett.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So, what do you think the over and under? I was thinking about that. What's the over and under that we was going to mention Marlowe's tonight? What do you think, Joe?
I'll say 2. 1.5.
I'm so happy to see that for Coach DeRossa. Congrats, Coach DeRossa. And the Mingy Beef Jerky Primetime Performers, we had a slew of players that went off this week, and we have to narrow it down to 4. KJ, who are the 4 Mingy Beef Jerky Primetime Performers?
Braden Clark from Scott had 6 receptions, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bryson Eli, Tug Valley, 21 carries, 284 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 reception for 28 yards. Rhett Holbrook, Boyd County, 14 of 18, 229 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also had 9 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown. Devin Maynard, Martin County, 7 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 two-point conversions.
Yeah, that Martin County man, that was a tough way to figure out who was the player of the game there, as a lot of people was voting for Tate Crum, nominating Tate Crum, who is the All-Mountain center that ended up getting a touchdown. They put a heavy package in, and they had all their linemen in the backfield, and they even had a lineman at QB. And handed it off to him. He punched it in, and Prestonsburg ended up taking the L there. But it was the way they lost that caught a lot of people's eyes. Martin County won 44-0. Devin Maynard, you just heard his stats, but Brock Messer had 23 rushes, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. Madden Miller, 12 rushes, 92 yards, a touchdown, and 9 tackles on defense. While Price ended up having 2 sacks, and then. The stat that caught everybody's eye coming out of that is that 19 yards is all Martin County gave up. Prestonsburg only had 19 yards of offense.
That's tough to do. I don't care who you're playing. That is very, very tough to do.
And I was talking to a radio announcer. They said that they only had him for 11 yards.
Oh, wow.
So, but on Prestonsburg's credit, listen, there is no and. We laughed last week when we seen the Massey ratings, and it said Martin County was a 32-point favorite. We laughed, and we was like, what are these guys on?
Right.
And then they go out and that, and I was like, undoubtedly they knew something that we didn't.
We didn't know, right.
But the lineman got hurt, their best lineman got hurt and was out at Betsy Lane. Jacob Rose, who is their star running back, Mountain's leading rusher, I don't know if he still is, but Joe will know that. But he was out, and then they had a lineman get hurt in that game, and then they had one that was at Logan Hall who wasn't 100%. So Prestonsburg, obviously, every time they handed it to Dalton Elliott, Martin County done what they should do. They keyed in on him, and they stopped him, and that was an impressive show. And I'm glad to see Martin County get things rolling there. Yeah.
You've been calling them out all year. I mean, every week when I'm back up in northern West Virginia watching the show, you've been calling Martin County out. So, Darryl, they finally heard you this week, and extra motivation. And Madden Miller, the Miller kid, he that does lead the D&D region in tackles, and they had 8 tackles for loss. But I don't, like David said, when you sub, your subs are going to give up yardage. That's impressive. 19 yards of total defense.
Yeah, only giving up 19 yards, and then Madden Miller, the year he's having there. But what I couldn't believe is Martin County. We all knew that they had a team that could be special this year, and when you take a look and see how they're finally coming together there, because this line is a very special line. That kid Tate Crum, David, one of the best centers that we have, period, in the mountains right now.
Absolutely, I thought he was that last year. I remember I finally got to meet his mother.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this kid, I didn't know that was your son, but, he is a heck of a player. But I think he is one of the best.
Yeah, and showing the mobility to run the football.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's very impressive too. But Joe, you mentioned he had 8 tackles for loss. Madden Miller on the
well, the team did. He had I think 1 or 2, but he had 9 tackles, like you said. But the defense had 8 tackles for loss.
Wow, that's a lot,
and that's impressive. And one thing about Martin County is it's been their offense this year. They lost the Pike County Bowl 9-6, and the offense really hasn't been able to generate. And I've watched you guys every week saying, hey, Martin County's got to figure things out on the offense, and when they do, they're going to win some ball games with that defense, and that's
you finally
finally saw it this week.
So that obviously brings us to Mingo Central versus Scott, which was the biggest game in either state in the mountains. All eyes was on that, an electric atmosphere, and it was a game that I was worried going down when you told me that your OC was going to be out, and I know you're not a guy that's going to make excuses, but that's tough to play when you know that you're going to have to put up points and your offensive coordinator ain't there. That's very tough going in. I was surprised that y'all put up the 22 points, but they jumped out. It was kind of like they shell-shocked y'all. 29 points, they jumped out at the beginning, but it was that touchdown, that 80-yard bomb right before half that kind of broke y'all's back. What's your thoughts on it?
I thought the moment was too big for our guys. I honestly didn't think that it had anything to do with our OC not being there at all. You know, the kids had opportunity to make plays. Our defense supposed to be the top defense in 2A, and they never showed up. They were still on Minor Mountain.
Yeah.
You know, and I know Coach Shep. I mean, Coach Shep has been he's humbled them this week.
Yeah.
Put it that way. But you know, our guys, it was too big of a moment for our guys, you know, and I'm not going to, you know me, I'm not going to make no excuses. Scott come to play, and they knew what type of moment that was, and they took advantage fully of that opportunity. You know, our guys just wasn't ready. Our guys needed that hit to let them understand, get back to earth.
Yeah.
You know, you're not who you thought you was.
Yeah.
You know, listen to your coaches, because we know.
Actually, myself, I mean, and this is, you know, I mean, of course, you know, I mean, you forgot more football than I'll ever know, but, you know, the way I look at it is, I mean, y'all lost by 30, but the thing, like I said, you know, I mean, from an outsider looking in, you know, I would rather go into a possible playoff game, you know, as an underdog, as being, you know, because sometimes that can get in team's head, and then, you know, obviously, you know, not having your OC, you're going to see some stuff that you won't see next time. So, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, there is a silver lining, and you know, I know a lot of Minor fans, you know, have been hitting me up and telling me make sure that I mention that Mingo Central won the JV games. So,
well, I do want to give a big shout out to Coach Nate Siggers and Matt Harris and Chris Burns. You know, they took our JV, man. They've been doing a wonderful job. Our JV's at 1-1 now. They played a heck of a game, and we got some younger guys that's gonna make some noise. I'm telling y'all right now, we just got to develop them and get them up to speed. But you know, they did a good job the other night and redeemed us. Also, our soccer team redeemed us. Also, congratulations, Coach Brad. They redeemed us. They went over there before us and beat Scott and stuff. So they redeemed it for us. But you know, so we're 2-1 on the week. So
there's silver lining.
We're the silver lining on there.
There you go.
But no, hats off to Scott, man. They got a heck of a team.
Coach Dolan done a great job, and his staff. Matt, it was hard to pick a primetime performer, because it was kind of the Kobe rules this week, as Matt Fry wins it every week. Yeah. So you went and looked, and it was Braden Clark that had a fabulous game popping up and really helping them. You know, but you know, I mean, y'all done a good job keying in on the running back, KJ.
Preston Cooper.
Brenniger.
Brenniger's receiver.
Yeah, Brenniger. Yeah. Y'all did a good job keying in. Cooper had a solid game, but I mean, Brenniger, it seemed like, you know, y'all keyed in on him and slowed him down, but you know, I mean, it allowed other guys to, you know, and a good job for them stepping up.
And one thing about Scott is just like what Mingo Central was a few years ago. It's like a Madden offense. You know, if you key on Brenniger, Braden Clark, that didn't surprise me, because I mean, I've seen that kid make some plays. It's just like it's like Fry, when he's on, he's just playing catch with these receivers, and that's all it is. So for Scott, you know, they got 4 guys, and everybody forgets about Isaiah Bush. And you know, they use Brenniger in the backfield, wide receiver, Bush the same way. I mean, Scott,
Isaiah Bush can play.
Yes, he can. Football. And they forget about him.
That kind of athlete, And
they got a squad full of kids that can, but they're coached very well. Hats off to them. You know, they had a great atmosphere over there. It was good, clean football. It was officiated very well, and you know, we got a hit on our chin, and you know.
I will say this, and I want to say this here real quick. Guys, hit that like and share button, get them numbers up, as we see Carl Whitey Little tuning in. We see Logan Barker still here. We see Keith, Kayla Hackney, Brandy Lafferty. Guys, hit that share button. These numbers are climbing, guys. David, you know, going into this last 3 games, you know, we talked at the beginning of the year, and we said, you know, if you can go 1-2 in them last 3 games, you'll be all right, you know, and you know, that's what, you know, you was hoping for. Well, you went 2-1, ended up beating Man and Independence in impressive fashion, and then lost that one to Scott. So, you know, you're still on the same trajectory, same path. Mingo Central is a state title contender. I think they've shown that. But I mean, it's one of them. It's good to take lickings like this because you know what you got to get better at.
It's the best way to teach our guys.
Yep.
We know that they're good, but you being good, you got to practice. You got to practice like that. You got to humble yourself. You can't let this success get to you. You got to continue just to be yourself each and every day. And we're getting there, man. Like, everybody got to understand, we've only been together for about 6-7 months now. We're getting there. We're not worried about that game. Our main focus is Point Pleasant, and we got to go up there and handle some business.
Gracie and Tate Merchandise and Seth Cox says Scott has a track team on the football field.
They actually do. That's the truth, and them babies can run.
Yeah, I mean, and hats off. I mean, Dolan puts the athletes out there, and you got to stop them.
Yep.
So
that's it.
And I'm still leading the charge, guys. Matt Fry, Kennedy Award winner, guys. Make sure y'all push that charge. Local media, push him. We need to get another Kennedy Award out of the mountains. Guys, producer KJ is pushing us to break here. When we come back, we are going to talk Tug Valley Tulsa, one of the most heated rivalry games in the mountains. We're going to talk about that, plus get you caught on the rest of the games going on around the mountains. I promise, guys, you don't want to miss the rest of this show. Come right back and join us here on Crunch Time. Gracie and Tate Merchandising has become a staple here in the Danville and Madison community. They'll make sure you find that treasure that's been eluding you. Everything you need under one roof. New items at discounted prices right here at Gracie and Tate Merchandising. Go Skyhawks! Come visit us at Castle's Jewelry & Co. Run today. We got a history of making sure our clients' needs and wants are met. Castle's Jewelry has a large selection of rings, necklaces, bracelets, and more. Remember, friends come and go. Jewelry lasts forever.
This is where it all started, right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Looking for a new pharmacy? Howard Family Pharmacy offers fast and friendly service and convenient drive-thrus at both locations.
This is Bruce Walters from Bruce Walters Kia. By now you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Hi everybody, Dave Baker here for Citizens Bank in Kentucky. Do you want to love your car even more? How about putting extra cash in your pocket each month by refinancing with new low rates at CBK? It is fast, it's easy. All you have to do is log on to wearecitizens.bank.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors. Someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Let the folks at Double Quick help you start your 2022 off right. They've brought back the Bourbon Pecan Coffee for a limited time only. You can also quench your thirst with the great deals on fountain drinks they offer daily. Double Quick is your one-stop shop for everything. They offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can stop by one of their many storefront locations spread throughout eastern Kentucky. Stop by and let Double Quick make your day better.
All right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time. This segment of the show is sponsored by Gilbert Produce.
Yeah, Gilbert Produce, guys, right now, listen, big supporter of the Mingo Central Miners, big supporter of Man Hillbillies, West Side Renegades. Love, for many years, when you go over Gilbert, that Gilbert Produce, it's one of the only places that you can get produce in Mingo County. It is the only, only grocery store, right, KJ?
It's a produce
It's
place.
a produce store,
and they got a really nice restaurant in there that serves food and desserts.
I went over there and ate not long ago. Yeah,
it's got home cooked food.
Oh, I gotta get over to my Gilbert area and go get some food. We've been tied up a little bit here, but I'm definitely gonna get over there.
And they do catering too.
Yeah,
they got a big festival going on.
Trail Fest, baby.
Fest going on there now.
Oh, do they?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure Coach Jones will get the catering up here someday.
Most definitely.
But guys, want to thank them for coming on board and being a part of our sponsorship family. Guys, we cannot do this for mountain athletes. We say it time and time again. It's always important for businesses to sponsor in areas, especially like that. Say West Side. It's important. Or a place like Logan. Not necessarily where we're in all the time, because there might be another media outlet. Well, it's even more important for you to come on and support D&D, because we got to make up for other media outlets being there, because at the end of the day, these are local media outlets. They're not going to get your kids, they're not going to give them a statewide reach or help them get the Kennedy Award or Mr. Football.
It's all about the audience, and that's what a lot of people have a misperception of. When they're saying like, well, we got this people in here, this, I'm like, okay, like how do you get? Because I invite everyone.
That's it. We're not just a streaming service. I say that time and time again. We are not just a streaming service. You gotta have
content builds programs. Content builds teams. Content builds the players.
Yep.
Now, for the simple fact is you have player of the games. You have all these statistics coming out. You have this show, like a dish show for football. You have a crunch time. Grind session. I'm sorry, for basketball. Context builds the teams and the kids, and that's what you need. They got to be consistent base. And a lot of people don't understand that, and because some will tell you this and slide and do all that, but I'm telling you guys, like right now, watch my program at the end of the year and watch the rest of these programs when it comes to these colleges.
The largest, that's the thing, that's the audience D&D Sports has got. We have the college coaches tuning in.
That's literally it, dude. That's literally it, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, so guys, make sure, people, the thing that I like, people call ESPN of the mountains, and there's nobody that's larger than us, nobody that's more respected than us. We have a statewide reach in Kentucky and West Virginia, and we're growing every day. But I have learned lately, media, a lot of people, I suggest any kid go into media, because, it's starting to turn. There's a lot of job openings in media, but I will tell you, it's probably the slimiest business ever. It's hard for good guys to be in this business.
Listen, man, like I'm telling you right now, it's the most grimiest thing. Like, and I sometimes, try to shy away from it because of, what I do. And and it really upsets me because I'm really trying to help our mountain athletes. And whenever these parents contact me about this and about that, and I'm like, listen, there's nothing that we can do. For the simple fact is, your program or your team has someone else in there that we're not allowed to help. Or, if we go to help, then they're going to try to sue us or something like that. And it's not worth it. And
90% of media outlets are in it for the money, and people don't realize when people are actually in it for the kids.
That's it.
Because the way that we do it, we've got to have money to do this, but the mountains will thrive again one day, but the only way to do that is to invest in our youth, and that's what we're doing. So Seth Cox says he's explained it many times. Crunch Time is the sports center of the mountains. So there you go. You heard it from Gracie and Tate Merchandise. And Kobe Fugit tuning in. Luke Fugit says that George Rogers Clark, GRC, is rolling right now. They got a really good program. So Luke, make sure you send us your stats. And Brandy Lafferty says, thanks for the love today, Bones. Appreciate it. We're going to talk about Bones here in a little bit, Brandy. So I want to talk about the Tug Valley-Tulsa game. Joe, you know this is the most heated rivalry game in the mountains. It has been for years. It's all built because of basketball, but no love lost on the football field. As you see some highlights here. In this one, Preston May went 5 for 13, 80 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 2 rushes for 13 yards. Bryson Eli, Mingy Beef Jerky primetime performer, 21 rushes for 284 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a reception for 21 yards as well. Cameron Sloan had 1 reception for 30 yards and a touchdown. Adam Sloan had 13 tackles. Buddy Markham, Buddy Buckets, had 2 sacks. Trying to catch up on the leader in the
Ashton
state,
Davis.
Ashton Davis, yeah.
Yeah, he's got 9 sacks, and Tug Valley's defense, 26 sacks on the year. But that team is thriving. They put May in, the freshman quarterback, as the signal caller, but Bryson Eli in the backfield. And David, I think you still owe Haiti Ford a dinner because Eli didn't touch the ball many times against you, brother. And that might have been a good thing because Eli's really been coming on strong the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean.
When you talk all around the athletes.
No comment, but Bryson Eli, he's a stud. But it was going to take more than that.
I made you speechless.
Yeah. No, you made me think what I was going to say.
Bryson Eli is, at the end of the day.
Bryson Eli, he's a D1 athlete, guys.
Yeah, that's it. He's just a pure athlete.
He's a D1 athlete, hands down. I always mess with Joe when it comes to Tug and stuff. But
Tulsa was on a 2-game winning streak coming into this game, and
they was winning at halftime.
Robert Evans had things clicking. You had Parker Watts, who has really turned on lately and showing. Listen, Parker Watts is a next level receiver if he really wanted to focus on football. But he's a dynamic basketball player, so don't know that ever happened. But I'm glad to see Tug Valley get things rolling after that start of the season with Mingo Central. It's good to have 2 powers here in Mingo County, and it gives these Mingo County fans a lot to root for when it comes to playoff time.
Yeah. In Tug Valley's, they're ranked 8th this week in Class Single A. Mingo's ranked 6th in Double A. Mm-hmm. So we got a lot of excitement over here on the West Virginia side.
It's Mingo all day.
Yeah.
We trying to get all of our kids and get them into college. I've talked to several of their coaches over there already. We got a little plan. We're going to meet up. I'm going to talk to them about these college stuff and all that too. And they're working for their kids, man. Yeah. And I love it. Like we say, Mingo versus everybody.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. And you got to be happy. I mean, when you look and see, that's impressive when you look at the sacks that, the pressure that they're getting on the football. Ashton Davis, with 9 sacks on the year, Joe. How impressive is that?
Very impressive. In Tug Valley, they had 6 kids that played a lot last year, including their quarterback that didn't come out. Yeah. That's big for any program, especially a Class Single A program. And Haiti has done an excellent job taking over for Tony Kluski because before Coach Kluski, Tug Valley for the most part they struggled, but Haiti's done an excellent job in the COVID year. Man, I tell you what, if it wasn't for that COVID year knocking them down with 3 games, they might have won.
I thought they would win at that COVID year.
Yeah.
I really did.
They had a squad that definitely could have. And but I want to take. I remember when we first started this. Jonathan Blankenship. Maybe one of the fastest players that we ever seen in the air. But I'm glad. I love seeing what Haiti's built there. It's really nice.
He's done an excellent job. I got so much respect for Haiti, but he's done a wonderful job, and he's continued to do that. And they're going to be special. They're not done yet.
Yep, absolutely. They
keep getting us points.
That's it. That's one reason you got to cheer for them.
No.
The guys
respect after we get done playing each other.
Yep, I know that's true. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, listen, we got a lot of people on here telling us, hey, Bones Lafferty, Crayson Lafferty, Bones Lafferty. We're going to talk about him when we come back, guys, and we will get Oh, yeah, Coach Jones will be gone. Joe will take the hot seat when we come back, and we'll get you run down on the rest of the games from around the Cofields while also getting you prepared for next week. Come right back and join us, folks. Hit that like and share button. We'll be right back. Come on down to Three Guys Pizza and Brew in Williamson, West Virginia. We're located on the corner of Harvey Street and 3rd Avenue. We got great deals on pizzas, sandwiches, and more. You get great service with great pricing. Enjoy your birthday or ball games with us here at Three Guys Pizza and Brew. Look forward to seeing you.
Successful challenge by Steve Kerr and the Warriors. At all. One dribble powers it. I'll drive and kick the punch. Primo for three.
Play with a reload three. Think of it that way.
Yeah, they're pitching on your territory.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern coalfields. So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away.
Here at LB&T, we make online banking easy.
We've taken the hassle out of applying for a loan on our new website. It's as simple as going to our lbnt.com website and choosing the loan product that best suits your needs.
Your loan on your time. Visit us at lbnt.com. You're only a click away.
So if you need to borrow money, remember, we are just a click away. It's easy to apply online at lbnt.com. And all decisions are made locally. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Come visit the Huntington Ale House, where you get the best steak, burgers, and brews in the Mountaineer State. It's an all-American steakhouse voted the #1 mac and cheese in West Virginia. We serve brunch all day. 48 draft beers on tap with the state's best craft beer selection. Half-price happy hour with half price on selection appetizers, drafts, and cocktails from 3 to 6 p.m. and again, 9 p.m. to close. The Huntington Ale House is also open to hosting events and parties in our upstairs section. Give us a call at 304-522-2537 or contact us via huntingtonl.com. We look forward to seeing you.
All right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time. This segment of the show is sponsored by Trailblazer Outfitters.
Yeah, Trailblazer Outfitters, Joe, the one thing about Trailblazers Outfitters that you can get is something that I honestly, until they come on as a sponsor of D&D, something I've thought about many times is, with our job, I'm working 7 days a week. Very rarely do I get off days, so I don't have money to go waste on a side-by-side that's going to sit there for 90% of the year. And I was always like, man, I would love to go enjoy our home territory, the Hatfield-McCoy trails, but I don't have a side-by-side. Well, you can go to Trailblazers Outfitters and actually rent side-by-sides to go up on the Hatfield-McCoy trail. Butch Leedy does a great job, keeping these things prepared, ready to go. And it's a place that everybody needs to know about because, I couldn't imagine how many people like me that wants to rent a side-by-side but don't know where to.
It's located also down there at the old Ford lot at West End. That's where it's at.
Yeah, and also there's people from my neck of the woods now where I live at, north central West Virginia, and I guess they might be going to see Butch because they're like, man, I rented me an ATV. I went on the Hatfield-McCoy trails. Really? So, I've known Butch for years, man. Butch has always been a supporter of athletes in the mountains, especially over here on this side in the Tug area. So go see Butch leading the gang and rent you an ATV.
I'll give you a little tidbit that people may not know.
All right.
Still at this age, there's no guy around here in the mountains that can ride a crotch rocket like Butch Leedy. I mean, he is a legend on the crotch rocket. Yeah, he's he could go do that. Well, they call it the Dragon's Tail in Tennessee. He could go do that with no problem. I mean, he's really good on crotch rockets. So
yeah, again, go see Butch Leedy again at Trailblazer Outfitters, and they'll get you hooked up and get you a trail permit, and you can ride up and down the Hatfield McCoy trails. I was up 44 coming up here to Minor Mountain 9 for the show, and I get behind ATVs all the time. You know, you can go from trail to trail. They've connected these trails over the last decade or so, and I remember when they proposed the Hatfield McCoy trail system over 20 years ago, I believe it was, and you know, the critic says it would never work. Well, it's kind of worked.
Oh yeah, it definitely
it's kind of worked.
And I really like, because businesses like the Loose Caboose, you know, they see the possibility of this area possibly being like a Gatlinburg someday. You know, I mean, coal's gone away. We got to find another way. And the Hatfield McCoy Trail, these counties need to make sure that they let this Hatfield McCoy Trail expand. I was like a lot of people, didn't want it to, because I was like, man, you know, I rode on them hills for free my whole life. I mean, you still can do it, guys. I mean, it's just a way to bring tourists in here and give a much needed shot in the arm for the mountains. And so get behind the Hatfield McCoy Trail. Trailblazers Outfitters is a way that you can enjoy the Hatfield McCoy Trails without going spending $25,000 on a side-by-side. So, but if you do want to buy a side-by-side, go to Kiefer's Kawasaki. They got you covered. KJ, what's the rest of the scores going on around the mountains?
Ashland 48, Round County 0. East Carter beat Bath County 41-8. Belfry 14, Lawrence County 6. Boyd County 48, Greenup County 14. Somerset 42, Breathitt County 21. Corbin 34, Johnson Central 6. Covington Holy Cross 14, Morgan County 8. Painesville 28, East Ridge 16. Nicholas County 60, Fairview 20. Raceland 43, Hazard 0. Jackson County 49, Jenkins 6. Floyd Central 36, Knott Central 20. Fleming County 40, Lewis County 0. Magoffin County 50, Powell County 25. Martin County 44, Prestonburg 0. Russell 14, West Carter 9. Herbert Hoover 49, Chapmanville 23. Wayne 45, Lincoln County 6. Clay County 48, Logan 14. Scott 50, Mingo Central 20. Spring Valley 63, South Charleston 0. Tug Valley 38, 35, Tulsa 8. And Westside beat Liberty Raleigh 48-14.
Man, as I look through them, Joe, a couple of them jumps out to me. Obviously, Ashland continues to roll without LeBron Strader at QB. That makes their 6th straight game where they've scored 40 plus. First time that's been done since 1930 when they went undefeated. And them scores was unbelievable that they put up. But I mean, that's just impressive what they're doing with Brandon Houston at quarterback. Then, you know, obviously the Belfry Lawrence County 14-16 low scoring game. I thought it would be a little high scoring than that, but Belfry turned the ball over how many times, Joe?
4. And I don't know what it is against Lawrence County, but, you know, covering Belfry, I used to cover for many, many years. You know, they get the fumbleitis, and it's always against Lawrence County. And when I saw that score, heard about that score late on Friday night, I was joking around, said, well, how many times did Belfry turn it over? Well, they turned it over 4 times.
Yeah, so that was a lot to overcome that.
Yeah.
Now, Chase Varney is back, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so, you know, that's something. Lawrence County, you know, they're chipping at it. Coach Short does an amazing job, and we knew when Coach Frazier went down there as the OC that, you know, things was going to get better there. But, you know, I mean, Lawrence County last year, you know, I mean, ended up beating Belfry. But this is how it goes, man. I mean, slowly Lawrence County has been they've not had Belfry's numbers per se, but every game has been close in the last couple of years. So, this Lawrence County, is something that Belfry fans need to keep an eye on because they're creeping up.
There for many years, Lawrence County. I mean, I remember the Michael West game of back in the day, 444 yards rushing. I was doing that game, and Chook Williams, they used to call it the Chook Bone.
Yeah.
And they had Belfry's number, and then Lawrence County, man, for years they couldn't even compete with Belfry. And I'm sitting there going, why in the world are they playing these guys? They had to because of district play. But Lawrence County, they're right at Belfry, and for all intents and purposes, that was probably for the district championship, unless something happens, last week. But Belfry, the Varney kid, I've watched you and David talk all year long. That kid, young man, had an injury, and everybody thinks the Belfry offense, Darryl, is like, okay, quarterback's going to take it, going to hand it off. No, you got to do the reads. And when Varney's missed about 3-4 weeks of action, that might threw the Belfry offense off just a little bit and a little bit rusty, and get that timing down. I expect better things for Belfry rest of the way.
Yeah, it definitely will. I mean, right now, Caden Woolham, he's as Caden Woolham. Once you get closer to playoffs, you're going to see why Caden Woolham is the premier back at Belfry. And I'd like to see Belfry, be honest, use Dre Young a little more, and open up some of them holes for them explosive backs. Maybe go that way a little bit more. And obviously, I think everybody that's covered Chase knows that Chase has an arm. So I know Belfry will probably never do it, but I want to see them pass that ball a little bit more. I think it would really open up things for the backfield.
I can't remember about in 2003 when Paul Howard, the county attorney, when he was up here, when I was watching that show, I know y'all was in Pikeville that day. I did Belfry that year, and I think Paul had at one point like 16 touchdown passes to 1 or 2 interceptions. And Coach Haywood told me many years ago, I asked him one time on an interview, I said, well, do you think you're all going to open up pass it? He goes, Joe, we pass it around and practice all the time. We practice on that. That's Belfry's bread and butter. But Coach Haywood knows in the playoffs or a big game when they have to pass it just a little bit to win, and that's the reason why he's always been so successful. But you talk about Dre Young, when the running back goes for over 100 on Pond Creek, they're pretty much unbeatable.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's kind of the magic number. I think Belfry, as they continue to get healthy, don't count the Pirates out.
Exactly.
I think still they can make that deep playoff run. So, and when I sit here and look at these other ones, obviously Corbin, Johnson Central 34-6. They done better than I thought they would against Corbin, and I think Johnson Central is a team that's slowly getting healthy, and they're getting a lot better. This Corbin team possibly could be one of the – we'll see them this week on Friday Night Football here on the D&D Sports Network, but this is one of the top 5 teams in the state.
And their quarterback's thrown for over 1,400 yards. Can't remember his name, but everybody says he's a stud. He can sling it around. And Johnson Central, they've had injuries with the running back position about all year long. And in Kentucky,
still ain't got Zach McCourt, who won't be back for the season. But Zach McCourt was their workhorse, And they finally got Carter Conley back. He's kind of their big play back. But, not having McCourt has really hurt Johnson Central. This Johnson Central team, though, I'm telling you, they're going to be one that's going to be scary. I mean, I don't know that this is a state title year, but I do think that they can make a very deep run and possibly shock a few people along the way.
When you have folks that's missed and had to step up, for an injured teammate, what's that make you? Makes you better around playoff time. And I think Johnson Central's going to be okay. They've just had the injury bug just about all season long. They'll be okay when it comes to playoff time.
Coach Hoskins gets the win, improves Paintsville to 2-4 on the year. 28-16 win over East Ridge. Listen, Paintsville, this right here was a much-needed win for the Tigers. And the numbers that was coming out of this really impressive. Bones Lafferty with 19 tackles in this ballgame. He had 18 tackles last week, and right now he's averaging 12 tackles as a true freshman. This kid, KJ could tell you, looks like a young Lou Ferrigno. When I mean, he is chiseled, man. And the thing, when he was in 6th grade, I knew that he would have this kind of impact early in his high school career, because he was training like a high school athlete as a 6th grader, and now he's training like a collegiate athlete as a freshman. He's way ahead of the curve. Bones Lafferty, he's going to be a name to be mentioned that will be up there in the names with Cash Daniels, with Mason Lovely, them all-time great linebackers there coming out of Paintsville.
A lot of freshmen in the mountains this year having big years, and Bone. I mean, I followed up on Bones, and I'm like, I didn't realize he was a freshman until you just told me and everything. That's unreal. 37 tackles the last 2 weeks.
Think about that freshman class that Paintsville's got with Anderson Loffer out at wideout, and then A.J. Johnson running quarterback. If Paintsville fans be patient, this team is going to be one of them state title. When they become junior seniors, Paintsville will be right back competing for state titles. This is a very talented young group there in Paintsville.
Absolutely, Darryl.
Then Raceland continues the roll, 43-0. Logan Lundy. Well, let me ask you this, Joe.
Okay.
If you're a college program, okay, say for instance, hopefully, we'll see where these kids go, but say if you're UPike,
okay,
you have to choose Logan Lundy or Matt Fry. Who is Joe Kinser taking?
That put you on the spot.
That really did put me on the spot. How about taking both?
Yeah.
I mean, you can never have enough signal callers. you know what I mean.
Joe's running for office.
Absolutely, I'm going right down the middle. You did put me on the spot.
I tell you honestly, I've seen them both play. Both of them are next level QBs. I probably take Lundy because
he can run size, and he can run.
His size, he's kind of Lundy reminds you a lot of Will Levis, with that size. And the thing that I like about Logan Lundy is the moxie that he takes to the field. He knows he's the best, and that's the way he takes the field. And also like it that he's a big D&D fan.
Yeah.
When they come and play Pikeville, he wanted us to give him a D&D shirt to wear under his uniform, and I said that wouldn't have went well after the way the result went. But I mean, both of them are great quarterbacks in their own right. You can't go wrong with either one. It just depends on what you need in a quarterback. Because I could see some systems taking Fry, some systems taking Lundy, but I don't think there's any question. These are the two best QBs in the mountains, and it's not close.
Absolutely. I think, producer KJ, he'd probably agree just what you said. It all depends what kind of system you have. Logan Lundy, more of a runner. I'm not saying Fry can't run it, but Matt
Fry,
but the better passer.
Good,
the better passer, I think. But
Lundy's built for it more in college because he's a big kid. You're talking 6'5", 220-pound kid,
Yeah, it's a situation. Honestly, this is the best way I could explain it. If you're WVU, you're probably taking Matt Fry. If you're Kentucky, you're going to take Logan Lundy. And it's just the way. West Virginia, they want a quarterback. It's a little quicker that can get out of the pocket. Uses mobility a little bit and get the ball downfield. Logan Lundy, he's one that's going to he'll burn you with that arm. He has an arm like a cannon, and so you can't go wrong with either one. Right. But I just wanted to get your opinion on it. Raceland defeats Hazard. Hazard, man, rough year there in Hazard. I want to see Coach get things going there. But
they're coming. Middle school, them kids are tough.
That middle school group they got still undefeated with Maddox Bryant and crew. They'll be all right. They got Jet Raleigh. They got Tater Skidmore. That's a really nice middle school group. But you just hate to see because, I don't know that I would have ever thought that I would see a Hazard year where they've had this rough of a season.
They're off to their worst start, I think, since 1994. Then the season that they had another rough start was 1987. But Hazard, it comes in cycles, and I know we'll mention Danville, coming up in the games for this week. Who would have thought Danville would be winless? It does. Titletown. I about fell over today in the hotel room when I saw that because I didn't realize that it hit cycles, folks. It hit cycles.
And we also I mean, Floyd Central's got things rolling up there. Sean Hager gets the win over Knott Central 36-20. Fleming County, I went there 2 years ago. I watched that game. I thought this would be the year that Lewis County would beat Fleming County, but it really showed the pecking order on Friday night as they took care of Lewis County pretty easy, 40-0. And then I'm sitting here looking at some of the other ones, seeing if any of them catches my eye. South Charleston, I mean, it's just that's a season that no program wants to have, is the season that South Charleston's having right now.
I've got to get something off my chest right now. I've been chomping at the bit for months, okay?
Yep.
South Charleston is down not because of the new transfer rule in West Virginia. South Charleston is down. They've lost, I think, 18 of their last 19 games because coaching and leadership does make a difference, okay? Donnie Mays left the South Charleston job and went to Hurricane. Hurricane struggled. Hurricane was pretty much a laughing stock in AAA. Now they are a power. That's the reason why South Charleston is struggling, not because of the transfer rules. And you know what? Here's the thing. Did anybody care about in the big time West Virginia media or the WVSSAC when Williamson, Birch, Mate One struggled to have a team when players were leaving? I mean, players have went here or there for decades.
That's always happened.
Yeah, always has. Capital, Capital used to thump teams. I don't feel sorry for Capital. They've won only 5 games since 2020. Then they say St. Albans. People's transferring out of St. Albans. Before I say this, is St. Albans in the coverage area?
No.
Okay. I can go ahead. Okay, I can go ahead and say it. St. Albans hasn't won since 2007.
Yeah.
It's 2023. That's the reason why players are transferring out of St. Albans. Leadership does make a difference.
That's what I always tell people.
Yeah.
Quit worrying about these laws. West Virginia finally got ahead of the curve and made a law that made sense for student athletes, and now they're trying to undo it.
Yep.
When what we should be doing is focusing on why are these kids leaving. That's what you need to focus on, is why would the kid want to leave your program? Fix them issues, and then you won't have anything to worry about. That's my 2 cents on the take.
Absolutely.
So as we sit here, we got Jason Justice says 2027 freshman class is insane talent all across the mountains.
Yep.
I agree 100%. I mean, I'm really blown away at the freshman QBs, how they have stood up, and really, the freshman quarterback has been the story of the seasons. I mean, I can't wait until tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football on the Citizens Bank Game of the Week here on D&D Sports, as we got Shelby Valley, big district matchup. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Jameer Knuckles, what he's been doing, this is a kid that's coming in as a freshman. Everybody said he needs to be a lineman. He needs to be a linebacker. It'll never work. But it is working. This kid is a competitor. He's leading Pike Central. He's only got 2 turnovers on his season so far. That's very impressive for the freshman. The moxie that he's showing, and then A.J. Johnson. You got Gunnar Holbrook. You got Bryce Holbrook at Prestonsburg. Gunnar Holbrook at Letcher Central. Robert Evans. You got Preston May. I mean,
Tegan Hackney up here starting.
Yeah, Tegan Hackney. Having an unbelievable year. It's just.
Dante Davis at Belfry starting linebacker.
Yeah, there you go, Dante Davis. We knew Dante would have that kind of year, but how long has it been since you've seen a freshman class have this kind of impact, and what do you think is the reason behind it?
In football?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, in one season, I just can't remember. And I think it's these athletes, they're working hard, and they have leadership. I don't know if it's the parents or a coach or, it takes work. Like, Kevin Keithley's son, he works all the time. You know what I mean?
Every day, 3 times a day.
I mean, Peyton Davis, he works all the time. I mean, unless you're really, really gifted, you have to work at it. And I just think these athletes, the May kid, Preston May out of Tug Valley, his older brother Caleb, he was an athlete. It's got to go in the DNA as well. But I think these kids are just working hard.
great example, Caleb May. I always say, listen, you want to know why you need D&D sports? Caleb May, one of the best athletes we've ever had in Mingo County, and if D&D was there doing ball games then, no doubt that he would have been playing big-time college football somewhere. And when you take and look, that's what people don't realize. If we're not in your area, it's not because of us. It's because of your administration. So if we're not doing your school, that's why we try to do our best to write the articles, do previews, rankings, to help make up for us not being at certain schools. But we want every mountain kid to, we want them to thirst, we want them to grow, and we know that we can help them do it. It's just, the administrations have to be welcoming for us to be there. Now, we talked about linebackers. Before we go to break here, Stevie Todd Lane right now at Eastridge. That kid, when you talk probably top 5 linebackers in the mountains, there's no way you can mention top 5 linebackers without mentioning former Phelps Hornet Stevie Todd Lane.
And when I've been helping compiling the D&D top 10 list all year, Stevie Lane, and he's been pretty much in the thick of things on defense out of that linebacker position, and I have seen him play a couple times. Physical, can drop back, he can read coverages, and when you're playing, especially at the linebacker position, you got to be smart.
Yep.
You got to be able to watch a little bit of film and everything. You got to have good instincts, and Stevie Lane, he does that for Eastridge.
He absolutely does. And Ryan Center says Lawrence County had to overcome some early struggles too. Said they had 2 turnovers that Belfry capitalized and scored TDs on. So, that's just that's the way Belfry and Lawrence County games usually go. So. But this week we got a great slate of games. I can't wait. We're going to tell you where we're going to be at. We're going to get you caught up on all the games coming up. Guys, do not go anywhere. Hit that like and share button. We got Joe Kinser in the house, guys. Producer KJ, Darryl McCoy. We'll be right back.
Trailhead Bar and Grill in Maplewood, West Virginia is making sure trail riders and locals are staying happy and full. One thing's a guarantee at Trailhead is great food and great service. Come watch your favorite ball game, have a party, or we'll host your events at Trailhead Bar and Grill, proud supporter of the Mingo Central Miners and all mountain athletes. Stop by Eric Homa Drug today and let them fill your prescription. Eric Homa Drug has been serving the Chapmanville community for over 46 years. They're a proud supporter of the Chapmanville Tigers and all mountain athletes. Smoking Hot Vape Shop in Inez, Kentucky carries a wide selection of disposable vapes, juice, mods, batteries, and accessories, as well as a great selection of Delta products. Smoking Hot guarantees authenticity of products and allows you to try before you buy on disposable products using a sanitary test tip. Open 7 days a week. Stop in and check them out. Find them on Facebook or visit their website, SmokingHotKY.com, for complete hours. Stop by and see your friends at the end of Route 3.
If you're injured in a car wreck, don't delay. Give me a call today, Justin Markham. Here at Markham Law Office, we will fight for you. Don't settle for a handshake and a small check from the insurance companies. Give us a call. Don't take on the big insurance companies alone. We will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Here at Markham Law Office, you're more than a client. You're family, and we take care of family. Give me a call. Justin Markham, attorney at law.
If you're looking for a friendly and fun atmosphere to enjoy your daily cuisine, come to Cheech's Pizza in Lenore, West Virginia. Cheech's Pizza has world-renowned cheese sticks, delicious pizza, and the best subs in the pizza and pasta game. Don't forget to take advantage of our milkshake shop located inside. Bring your family down to meet ours. We are the place that treats you like family from the second you pull in the parking lot. We look forward to seeing you here at Cheech's Pizza.
All right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time. This segment of the show is sponsored by Holland Jones Funeral Home.
Hall and Jones, one of the biggest supporters, guys, in Pike and Letcher County. Make sure you guys hit them up. KJ, another business people are dying to get into there. Listen, at Kevin Hall's Pike County corner, I promise you, there's not a corner in the mountains that knows more about sports than Kevin Hall. I mean, when
Absolutely.
I go in there, I can talk hours with him.
Absolutely. You know, I've known Kevin for many, many years now, and I tell you, he can keep up with anybody when it talks about mountain sports.
He loves them Shelby Valley Wildcats.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as we got a lot of people tuning in, guys. Hit that like and share button. Get these numbers up. We're getting ready. We got a ton of people saying, but Darryl, you forgot the top 10. Well, we're getting ready to read them, guys. You're coming back. Hall and Jones is sponsoring this segment. We do have David Jones here, this is not David Jones. This is Joe Kinser, a little lighter shade David, as Joe is sitting in here for the picks. David is online. He will be picking online. He had to jet out, guys. So make sure that you pick your games with David as we picks. And producer KJ on the boards. I'm Darryl McCoy. You're watching the #1 football show in the bluegrass and the mountains of West Virginia. KJ, top 10. Let's see what we got, and we're going to let Joe tell us where we went wrong.
Ashland stays at number 1. Scott moves up 2 spots to number 2. Raceland drops a spot to 1. 3. Pikeville drops to 4. Belfry up a spot to 5. Mingo drops to 6. Johnson Central stays the same at 7. Betsy Lane up a spot to 8. Pike Central up a spot to 9. And Lawrence County dropped 2 spots to 10. Dropping out of the top 10 was none. It's the same top 10 we had last week. Others receiving votes: East Ridge 3, Perry Central 3, Man 2, Greenup County 1, Shelby Valley 1, Tug Valley 1.
Joe, when you look at the top 10 here, I mean, Ashland ended up with 20 first place votes.
All first place votes.
First time this year that they have been a unanimous #1 team in the mountains. So Ashland 20, and I was surprised because Scott had been getting a couple first place votes, and they get their biggest win of the season and didn't get the first place vote. So I was very surprised about that. But whenever I sit here and look, this is pretty much the way that I had mine. But I did have Johnson Central in front of Mingo Central, and trying to think. The rest of it, I think, is pretty much spot. Or no, I had Raceland at 2 and Scott at 3.
I tell you where it all went wrong, okay, baby? Because I had to give the program some love, this one program, and I've been chomping at the bit all year long. I had the Betsy Lane Bobcats at number 5. Yes, you heard me right. Betsy Lane at number 5. I had to give some love to them.
Joe did his votes. He had Betsy Lane in the top 5, and I'll tell you that Joe, that was the worst thing I've ever heard. Betsy Lane is not better than Belfry or Johnson Central.
But you know what? They don't play Johnson Central or Belfry. You play who you play, baby. You got to walk the aisle like Ric Flair said. Give me a woo.
I'm happy, man.
Yeah.
Listen, Coach Darryl, Coach Quillen, I love them two guys. What they're doing there on Betsy Lane, this is a special season. And who knows? Like I said, you only play who's in front of you, so who knows what could happen whenever they play. Right now, I would like to see a Betsy Lane and Mingo Central game.
Carter Parsons, a sophomore.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Sophomore. They got studs all around. The thing that people don't realize is the massive girth on that line there at Betsy Lane, and the impact that Harley Quillen has had there on that program. Coach Darryl, you won't find a finer feller in mountain football than Coach Darryl. I would like to see Betsy Lane, take and run the table. It's that kind of season that they're having where they could actually do that. But now that they're going to get into district play, we'll really see what Betsy Lane's made of. If they can get them wins over Pike Central and Shelby Valley, then all of a sudden, you're watching out a team that can make some noise come playoff time.
This is what I like. How many times have we talked about over the years, Mingo Central's off to a great start, Tug Valley, Belfry, Johnson Central, Pikeville. You know, we always talk about Belfry, John Central, Pikeville every year. But Betsy Lane, I know Betsy Lane's got off to 4 or 5-0 starts before, but they have never got off to a better start like this. And you know, I was looking at their roster today. I thought they were senior laden. They're not. You know, they return. I don't know how many people they lose off the line, but you know, they have quite a bit coming back, and it's just a special group up there for Betsy Lane. And you know, they're proving, you know, that you know, they've been told they play a bakery schedule. Well, guess what? You know.
Now who said that?
No, I don't know. I might be. I don't know. I might be sitting in the same room with him.
KJ.
Yeah, KJ.
I don't know.
KJ
I'm
said
on the Bobcat bandwagon.
Yeah, KJ said cupcake. I don't know who said it. Maybe the person might be gone. I don't know.
We'll blame it on Coach Jones. But as you sit there, David says we are available next season. So Coach Jones says let's make it happen, Coach Darryl. So
David needs some games next year.
Yeah, and listen, Isaiah Allen, he's having a fabulous year there for the Bobcats. So I mean, you talking about the young talent that they have, none better than Isaiah Allen. That kid's having a fabulous season right now up there on the mountain. But we see J.C. Hensley tuning in all the way from Edward Jones Financial. Listen, guys, the thing I like about J.C. is he's a man that I've been begging to come in my life because, you know, what we're doing here at D&D Sports, you know, we've clearly become the #1 source for mountain sporting news. It's not even close. But, you know, with the financial services, you know, we need to make good financial decisions that's going to keep D&D at the top, and that's what J.C. Hensley can do. So glad he's tuning in here.
J.C. knows his stuff, but also financially, but I guess what? He also knows his stuff because he loves the mountain athletes. I've known him for years, and he's always been proud of our mountain athletes.
All right, guys, as we're going to sit here, we see Austin Chafin tuning in. Listen, Austin is our office worker here at D&D Sports. We could not do this. He takes care of our sponsors. He gets the highlight videos. Austin is fabulous at his job. Glad he's tuning in. Brandy Lafferty says, love that Coach Quillen. Even though I'm a Tiger, I'm proud of the Bobcats family. Greg Chase Hayes says, you guys got to be able to cover the middle school playoff games. Let us know where they're at, brother. We'll definitely try if we can. And we see he also says too many studs in that Hazard middle school program across the board. Hazard 9 through 7th grade is loaded.
Wow.
So, you know, that Hazard program, you know, I didn't realize how good Perry Central was until I went and watched them play Belfry the other night when they flat out dominated. That's a game that has to happen for that Hazard community. No reason Hazard and Perry Central shouldn't be playing each other when they're both undefeated like this.
Absolutely, you know, and you know, for many years, it's just not 1 or 2 years, but 5 or 10 years that I can remember. You talk about a program that can score, you know, and their games are like basketball scores. That's Perry Central.
Yeah.
They've always been able to put, but I don't know if it's an independent school system thing. I don't know if it's independent versus county or what, but I know that's heated rivalry in basketball. I do know that. So and it packs the venue out wherever they play. But like to see Hazard, Perry County Central go at it one time on the football field again.
Jared McCormick says, what's up, Joe and Darryl? See you in Mothman territory this Friday, Coach Jones. So
he's never been to the Mothman Museum.
Jared hasn't.
Jared's never been to the land of the Mothman, so he's going to go, and he says, I got to support, I got to go cover Mingo Central this week. I got to check out the Mothman Museum.
We're going to invite Jared up to set. We would like to have Joe and Jared interchange quite a bit because I promise you two guys are two of the most respected minds in mountain football, mountain athletics. So hopefully you guys can start coming more often. As a lot of folks at home know, Joe Kinser has joined the D&D team, and every Friday night you can catch him on a game somewhere. This week he will be in the house with producer KJ down at Wayne as Wayne takes on Joey Fields and Herbert Hoover.
Pioneer Field. Yep. And guess what, KJ? I think it's grass. I think it's supposed to rain. So
my kind of game.
Yeah, absolutely.
That benefits Wayne though, because they're a running football team.
David Thompson tuning in, one of our favorite coaches, Tulsa coach tuning in. Coach Thompson, let us know if your players, the players that had good games last week, so we couldn't get their stats beforehand, but we definitely like what Tulsa's doing. We hope Coach Thompson gets back on the winning track after his loss to Tug Valley.
That's one school that I need their stats on a consistent basis when I compile the top 10, David.
Yeah.
I've never, someone got the quarterback's stats for this past week, but I've been struggling for Tulsa stats.
I know you
all
didn't just
season
call
long.
me David.
Or Darryl. I'm sorry.
a lot prettier than David.
I've been up since about 7 o'clock this morning, all right? So just
is
like
your eyes
you.
that bad, Joe?
Well, I do have a cataract, so we need an optometrist as a sponsor.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody hit us up. It's something Coach Thompson, I'm sure he'll get them to us. He called me last week right after the game and told me. So Coach Thompson, he's always watching the show. Glad you're tuning in, Coach. Hit that like and share button, guys. It's almost pick time. As we also says, Gregory Hayes said should be at least one at hazard. Tomorrow, playoff brackets will be released at 8:30 on Facebook, live on Facebook. So make sure you get them to us so we can get that done. Harley Quillen tuning in. Harley, David Jones said he is open next season. Hook that game up. Betsy Lane, Mingo Central. We want to see it, Joe.
David does, and he does have some openings. They got to play for like a bowl game. I don't know. I mean, some sort of trophy.
We'll figure out some kind of trophy, for them. So I'll be thinking about that as we move forward here. What Betsy Lane and Mingo Central could play for. So we'll figure it out. Both of them are on the mountain. They say they play on the mountain, so could be Battle of the Mountain. So
Mingo Central plays 2,100 feet up on the mountain. So
a little further up.
A little bit.
Yeah. So say give me the numbers and I will get you the stats, Joe. So
all right.
Coach Thompson's got you. Guys, it's that time of the year here as we're getting ready to do pigskin pick'em, and I'm going to make KJ, Joe, David, all of them eat crow here as I'm going to dominate once again.
We know what happened last year. I mean, I beat you and David by like 50 games. I mean, my record was 50 games better than theirs. And now they've not even tallied it up yet.
It was actually 3 games that you won.
No. You
don't
have to go back and look. And now that it's been so bad, he ain't even got it tallied up this year. That's how bad I'm killing.
Yeah. So here we go, guys. This week, Thursday night, Montcalm at Phelps. 4-0 Montcalm versus 1-4 Phelps. We'll start here with Joe Kinser. Who you got?
Montcalm is from Mercer County. They missed the playoffs last year with an 8-2 record. I'm gonna go Montcalm.
Oh wow, who you got, KJ?
Montcalm.
I'm gonna go with Montcalm. Although I'll be rooting hard for the Hornets.
Right.
My guy Marty Casey over there, Mart Dog. I hope Phelps gets the win for him. Johnson Central at Rowan County. That's a Thursday night showdown.
Yep. And David's got Montcalm too.
David's got Montcalm. So Johnson Central at Rowan County.
JC.
Nah, JC.
JC.
Who's David got?
JC.
Who you got, KJ?
JC.
Okay, so that's a sweep for Johnson Central. Pike Central at Shelby Valley. You can catch all the action right here on the D&D Sports Network on our Citizens Bank Game of the Week, guys. D&D Sports Network will be there for homecoming activities at 6 o'clock. Tune in as me and Eugene Newsom will have wall-to-wall coverage of that one for you. Big district matchup there. Who you got, Joe? Pike Central, Shelby Valley.
Man, that's a rivalry.
5-1 Pike
That's
Central.
a good rivalry
That's
because
gonna be
they
tough.
used to play in the Pike County Bowl all the time, and I got that assignment constantly. I know when Butch Joplin was at Pike Central, I know it was a 44-38 game, and I'm going to go with Shelby Valley. Man, they've been turning the ball over a lot the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm going to go with the Wildcats, though.
Listen, right now, Russ Osborne, Shelby Valley is a dynamic team, and I think Russ Osborne is the clear number 3 quarterback in the mountains.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's close. Nobody can make the plays Russ Osborne does. I call him the Brett Favre of mountain football. He's a player that can put balls where nobody else can. He can make plays nobody else can. But you've also got to deal with he's going to turn it over every now and then because he takes chances. So, but he's got to clean them interceptions up. He's coming in right now. I think he's at 10 interceptions.
13 touchdowns, 10 INTs.
Yeah, he's got to clean that up. But this game right here, I think Russ Osborne's going to show the leadership on homecoming night. Although Jameer Knuckles, like I said, he's a quarterback, only a freshman, but does not turn it over. Only 2 turnovers on the year. And I've counted Jameer Knuckles out time and time again. Every week I pick against Jameer Knuckles, and this is one where 5-1 Pike Central versus a 3-3 Shelby Valley team. But I just, after watching them, I know this is a game Pike Central can win. I know they can, but I think Shelby Valley, I think it's just going to be too hard for them to keep up on the scoreboard with them. I think Shelby Valley is a lot better offensively, and I think that's where Pike Central will fall short. If Pike Central can stop that Shelby Valley defense, they can win this ballgame.
I can't believe I'm going against Malachi Anderson, defensive stud for Pike Central. Yep. Shelby Valley KJ leads this baby 15-11, and they've had some dandy games throughout the years.
I'm going Valley. Are they in the same district now?
Yeah.
Yes,
so the winner of this game is probably number 1 in the district, right?
No, Betsy Lane.
Oh, Betsy Lane.
Yep.
Betsy Lane's in this, and they still got to pay.
Eastridge, who's in the district on Friday.
So then Betsy Lane still had to play Pike Central and Shelby Valley.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see then. But I'm gonna go Valley at homecoming.
Who's Dave
got? Yeah.
Dave has Valley.
So it's we all got Valley on that one. I'm sure Jameer Knuckles, that'll be bulletin board material. I know he watches the show. Friday, moving over to Friday night, Ashland at Boyd County. Big rivalry game there in Boyd County. 7-0 Ashland, number 1 Ashland Tomcats versus the Boyd County 3-3 Lions.
It might be a rivalry game, but Ashland, they haven't lost to Boyd County since 2003. I know Boyd County's got a good quarterback in Rhett Holbrook, but Ashland, ever since they lost LeBryant Strader, they put their best receiver, Houston Bryant, at quarterback. They've been run happy. Ashland, you will get win number 746 in school history. Big time.
Ashland big.
Ashland?
Big, yeah.
Ashland's, 6 straight games scoring 40-plus points. But listen, every dog has its day, and this is going to be the day that the Lions take care of business at home. Big upset right here.
Darryl's got one wrong, baby. He's
rivalry game. We'll see.
Canonsburg wins.
Listen, if LeBryant Strader was back there, but I'm waiting for LeBryant Strader's injury and him not being there to bite the Tomcats in the butt. I think this is the week it happens.
David's got Ashland.
Okay. The Leslie County at Danville. 4-3 Leslie County. Danville, Titletown, 0-6, Joe.
Danville is 4-0 against Leslie, but guess what? You don't go to couch passes, baby. Quarterback Landry Collette. I'm going to say Leslie County in this one. It's tough to win at Leslie. You're already behind 10 points when you take the field.
Yep.
So I'm going to go Leslie.
We know C.J. Howard and crew there. We know he's going to be cheering on Leslie County hard. But, Danville 0-6, that right there, it just don't sound right, man. Going there, they're going to make the trip down. They've had Leslie County's number over the years. But I just, I think that Danville is going to lose this football game. I think Collette and Leslie County will take care of business.
While producer KJ is getting these thoughts, I'm just going to tell you another freshman. David's watching right now, the ball hawk, Jaden Hacker. 8 interceptions on the year for Leslie County. Bryce Pugh, 85 tackles, 12 TFLs. So there's you a couple stats there, KJ.
Listen,
I'm going Danville.
You're going Danville?
Danville?
Going Danville.
You have lost your ever-loving mind.
Titletown, Danville, they're going to go into Leslie County and get a win.
They're going to go to couch passes?
Yes, they're going to win. David's got Danville too, and Garen Thomas says Schrader could be back Friday.
Oh, well, I'm changing my pick. Give me Ashland. Give me Ashland. No, I'm running with the Lions.
He's
guys.
not 100%. He said it's soon. It could be possibly Friday, but it's soon.
That's an AC joint injury.
I'm still riding with the Lions. I think Rhett Holbrook and crew, that this rivalry, Boyd County has showed they're getting closer and closer every year. You know, this is one when I think it being at Boyd County, they will take care of business. You know, but like you were saying there, Pugh and Hacker, really good basketball player too there in Leslie County for John Noble. Just a freshman. How many interceptions? 8 interceptions. Does he lead the Mountains in interceptions? Yeah, think of that, guys. 8 interceptions for another freshman showcasing his talent. So, you know, right now I love seeing Coach Melton and them finally getting Leslie County back up on top. You know, because it just don't seem right seeing Leslie County not a powerhouse in the Mountains. You know, the Fighting Tim Couches. It's mountain football is better when Leslie County's good.
Did you go for Dam? Who'd you pick? Damble?
No, Leslie County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me and David got Damble.
All right. So Fleming County at East Carter. Both teams are 4-2 coming into this one.
I'll go East Carter.
Yeah, I'm going East Carter. Listen, Coach Champ ain't gonna let me down on this one. Fleming County got the big win over Lewis County, but I just think East Carter is a step up in competition.
Too much Quentin Johnson, 9 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions on the year. They got a great running back in Landon Yoke. Fleming County, they have Isaac Fry, 13 tackles for loss. Aiden Johnson, 12 tackles for loss. East Carter's won 3 of the last 4. Fleming leads the series 23-18. I'm going to go Fleming County in the upset.
You're going
I'm going Fleming County, baby. In the
County
upset.
On the road.
David's got East Carter.
So Joe's the only one going Fleming County. He'll be the only one taking a loss this week. So Betsy Lane at Eastridge. So Betsy Lane Bobcats, undefeated Bobcats going to Lick Creek. Does Eastridge, does Coach Burdine, does Stevie Todd Lane, does Isaiah Atkins, do they got enough power to take care of business against the Betsy Lane Bobcats?
Betsy Lane also has an Andrew McCutcheon.
Yeah,
not the baseball player Andrew McCutcheon, but the running back. I'm going to go Betsy Lane in this one. Eastridge, they got some athletes, like you said, but, man, it's been Betsy Lane's year so far, and I'm going to go with the Bobcats in this one.
Listen, this is a chance if Eastridge wins this one, they could shock the Mountains. This is, this could be a trap game. This could be a trap game for Betsy Lane. You don't look over this Eastridge team because, they might not be the best team in the Mountains, but they got enough to where they can upset you. But I think Betsy Lane, I think Coach Quillen, I think Coach Darryl, I think he's going to have their boys ready to play, and I think Betsy Lane goes on and continues staying undefeated.
KJ, I think Betsy Lane's going to be focused because what's going to be the narrative next Wednesday if Eastridge wins? Okay, when David's back up here for the whole show and you got 3 are up here, well, I told you, Betsy Lane, that was the run, but they're going to collapse at the end. They're going to hear that. That's all they're going to hear. Yep. Betsy Lane's going to hear. They're going to collapse. Yep. Like Tug Valley collapsing last year. So
when they get into the meat of the schedule in the district play,
that's the narrative.
So KJ, is it this week they collapse?
No, David and myself got Betsy Lane.
All right, everybody on Betsy Lane. McGoffin County at Lawrence County. 2-5 Hornets going to Louisa to take on the Bulldogs.
Lawrence.
Too much Cody Crum in this one. Lawrence is 17-0 all time, and Lawrence gets 532 in school history.
Coach Drossett has them rolling right now. Aiden Barnett putting up 6 touchdowns last week, coming in at an all-time high. Ian McCarty in that backfield. I mean, this offense is clicking, but that Lawrence County defense is going to put a stop to it. And I just think in Louisa it's going to be too tough. I think Bulldogs get the win and show that they are the premier program of the two.
David Jones, Lawrence County.
So
who's KJ going with?
Lawrence County.
Okay.
Lawrence, everybody on Lawrence is wagging on that one. Corbin. This here is on D&D Sports Network Friday Night Football. Corbin at Letcher. 6-0 Corbin. Got the Twins going to Kentucky. Got the powerhouse running game. Got a good quarterback. Coming in, taking on Junior Matthews and the crew, freshman quarterback in Gunnar Holbrook. Who you got, Corbin, Letcher Central?
I love Gunnar Holbrook, but I've watched you and David all year long, and I read on the website about the Twins going to Corbin, and when you guys said 2 or 3 weeks ago Corbin might be one of the best teams in the mountains, holy crap, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go all Corbin in this one.
Yeah, I like Gunnar Holbrook too, and he's got a bright future as a freshman. But I feel sorry for him this week with them 2 twins on defense coming at him the whole game.
I agree 100%. I think that this is one, though. I mean, listen, was it last year? I think Letcher Central, whenever everybody was counting them out against Johnson Central and they come and played them really close, I mean, who knows? I mean, you could strike, lightning in a bottle, but I just think Corbin's going to be too much. I mean, Corbin is one of the top 5 teams in the state, and it's going to be tough to prepare for that team this week. I mean, Junior Matthews and them finally has things rolling there, but I think the train stops this week with Corbin.
Corbin, the home of the original KFC, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, David and myself got Corbin too.
Corbin got some really good restaurants up there.
Yeah,
that's a nice place, man.
Yeah, I love Corbin.
And honestly, I think the top 2 teams in the state of Kentucky is Bull and Corbin. I mean, that's me, in my opinion. 1 and 2, you could flip flop either way, and that's probably who's going to meet in the 4A championship.
Listen, I would love to see it. So Jenkins at Morgan County.
Morgan.
Cameron Rogers, leading rusher in the mountains, 1,135 yards, and we'll go Morgan.
This is a good Morgan County team.
Yes.
They are. They're out. They're not in district play anymore. They stepped out of district play, but this is a really good Morgan County team.
Off to the best start since 2012.
Yeah, so I'm taking Morgan County.
David's got Morgan.
All right. So you got Morgan too, could you?
Yep.
All right. Fairview at Raceland.
Raceland.
Jace Manning, he's been a stud this year at Fairview, but it's too much Raceland in this one.
I know David's got Raceland too.
Listen.
Can't go against Logan Lundy, can you?
No.
Yeah.
And listen, Fairview, I will say Fairview is one of my favorite places in our coverage area. Just like Jenkins, I think it's kind of a jewel in the mountains, a gem. A lot of people don't think, what's it called, Westchester? Is it what the area is called there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that little town right there. It gets overlooked because it's right there in the big city of Ashland, Raceland, Russell, all of it there. But that little community they got there at Fairview, I love.
Was one of my favorite places to go for high school football before I started broadcasting Mingo Central.
Where?
Lick Creek.
Oh, Lick Creek.
Want me to tell you the reason why?
Why?
I don't know if things have changed, but hands down the best hot dog chili.
Where?
East Ridge.
I don't know,
They
man.
do?
Belfry's got the best hot dog chili.
East Ridge.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Belfry's hot dog chili is off the charts.
If I get another invite, okay, we're going to have an East Ridge and Belfry chili cook-off.
Let me tell you a little secret here about that. And listen, East Ridge, I wish that we could get over there and cover them more. That's one that we would love to come over. But we really hope that the parents, kind of reach out and make that happen because they got a lot of good things going on.
Yeah.
We want to get up there and support them. But East Ridge, great school up there. But the hot dog chili, Jimmy Von Smith used to make it. And a little tidbit, a lot of women say they've never tried deer meat.
Yeah.
If you've ate hot dog chili at Belfry, you've ate deer meat.
Oh, yeah.
He used to go up to Jack Hackney's at Pico Holler and get the meat for it. So a little tidbit, just a little insider note there for them fans. But so we all take care of Raceland over Fairview. Hazard at Paintsville. Now this right here, you got 2 of the premier independent schools in the mountains going at it in this one. Hazard coming in at 1-6, Paintsville at 2-4. Both teams are down on their luck, Joe. Who you got?
Paintsville 645 wins coming in. Hazard 643. I'm corrected. Hazard's worst start since 1987. Too much Bones Lafferty, Kane Grimm, and Howard Lucas in this one. I'm going Paintsville all the way.
I think A.J. Johnson, Anderson Lawfer, I just think their offense right now is a little too much for Hazard, and I think Bones Lafferty is going to be creating, him and Kane Grimm on defense is going to be creating a lot of problems for that Hazard offense. I think Paintsville takes care of business at home.
David and myself, Paintsville.
All right. So Whitley County at Perry Central.
Now wait, did Whitley just not come off a big win against Bell? Was that Whitley at Bell or was it Rockcastle?
Whitley, I think it was Rockcastle, it wasn't.
I don't know.
I think Whitley lost to Bell 48-42.
Now Bell got their first loss. Leslie, let me check it out here.
I thought it was Rockcastle. KJ,
It could be, but I thought it was Whitley.
But listen, either way, I'm taking my coverage area team. I'm taking Kaiser Sloan. I'm taking Kilburn. I'm taking. This Perry Central team. They're one of them. Each week, you've kind of seen a different Perry Central team. Once you see that consistency, this is a team that's really good in that 4A class, and I think Perry Central is going to take care of business against Whitley County, but we was going to be there. I think we're going to wait and go back the following week. Don't know right now. There's a chance that we still may be, but this is a game that I think a lot of people is going to be paying attention to because it's going to be a fun game. I think there's going to be plenty of offense in this one.
Here's all I'm going to say, okay? Kaiser Sloan, Seth Jackson, and Noah Kilburn, baby. They're going to play basketball on Friday night.
Yep.
Perry Central's always been involved in basketball scores for the most part that I've known them. I'm going to go Perry Central.
That's a good way to say it. They're going to be playing basketball on the football field.
David's got Perry Central, and I'm going with the upset, Whitley County. And Joe was right. Bell beat Whitley 48-42. Rockcastle upset Bell this past weekend.
Okay, so very seldom is Joe wrong.
No, I don't know about that. I've caught my own mistakes.
Okay, now, just sitting here, we got Estill County at Powell County. The Engineers versus the Pirates.
I'll go ahead. Engineers, baby.
Engineers.
Yeah, Engineers all the way, baby.
They got a really good freshman QB.
Yeah.
So
Manuus, the Manuus kid.
I think that Estill County. This is at Powell County. Man, I really think Powell County is going to get an upset win against a better team sometime this year.
Don't talk yourself into an upset this week. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this week.
No, Estill County is going to win.
David's got Estill, and Powell County's got a really good running back, and he's a
Springler.
Sophomore or junior.
Preston Springler.
Yeah, he's nice.
Who you got, KJ?
Oh, I'm taking Estill.
All right. Lewis County at Russell. Aiden Cooper.
Russell big.
You taking Russell?
Yep. You said Lewis County at Russell, right?
Yep.
Taking Russell.
Too much Ethan Pack in this one. Russell's going to get 635th program win. And tell you a quick Russell story, okay? Ivan McGlone, legendary coach, used to be there every time when they played Belfry in the postseason. Always called up Coach McGlone's house to get an interview with him all the time. And his wife would say, he'll be back in a few minutes. He'd always call me back at the station, and he'd say, Joe, it's glad to be with, talk to you. He always went after every practice before he went to the house, got his wife an ice cream cone.
Oh, wow.
Every day, got her an ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what Joe brings is the inside information, guys. This one here, Russell, listen, Lewis County, they have enough firepower to beat Russell. And like I said, Russell, last 2 weeks, they've started clicking, started getting things going. If this was early in the season, I would have took Lewis County. But I think right now, I just think this is going to be one of the games when Lewis County will be kind of intimidated by the name in front of the jersey.
Right.
And I think Russell, that's the main reason. But I do think Lewis County's got enough to beat them. But I just think they'll be intimidated. Russell wins.
It's tough to go to Russell and win.
Yep.
David's got Russell too.
So,
right.
Bath County at West Carter. Both teams coming in at 1-5.
Give me West Carter.
Yeah, I'm taking Coach Barker and crew, West Carter. They're having a down season, but they're still better than Bath.
I'm going to take a Bath. I'm going to go Bath County. Upset.
How
can it be an upset if both teams are 1-5?
Joey's going to take a Bath.
Yeah, I'm going to take a Bath.
Yeah, so who you got, KJ?
David and myself both have West.
So, man, that wraps it up as we leave Kentucky and we head over to the Mountaineer State. West Side at Independence.
Independence, big.
West Side 3-2, Independence 2-3.
Independence isn't your daddy's state champion Independence from 1 year ago, but I'm still going to go with the Patriots.
Yeah, I think Patriots. I just think West Side right now. West Side is doing really good. Things could have went the different direction for West Side after the start that they had, but good job by Coach Coger getting them back on track. I do think this is becoming a solid West Side team, but Independence is coming in at the wrong time of the year. If this was at the end of the year, maybe a little better ball game, but right here in the middle of the season, I think Independence.
David's got Indy.
Okay. The Shady Spring at Man, 3-3 Shady Spring versus 4-1 Man Hillbillies.
It's homecoming, I think, for the
it is.
for the Hillbillies. I'm gonna go Man in the double A points.
Yeah, I got Man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Hillbillies.
David's got Man.
Okay. The jumping down, Mingo Central at Point Pleasant. Now Point Pleasant coming in 2-3, Mingo Central 5-1.
This is the year 3 of a 4-year contract, and when Mingo Central, whoever signed the contract a few years ago, I just shook my head. Mingo Central has been non-competitive. I remember the last time it was a cluster going to Ohio Valley Athletic Field, in which I never would have thought I'd see the day that Mingo Central in the fourth quarter, where an opponent would just take a knee so they wouldn't score. It's been embarrassing. Mingo Central's been non-competitive. I know they're off to a 5-1 start. Point Pleasant's season took a bad turn in week 1 when their quarterback broke his leg, and that kid was a stud. Now they've been resulting into a ground game. Mingo Central can't let the Scott game beat them twice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they got to be focused. And I think Mingo Central is going to go there for only the second time in school history and knock off the Big Blacks.
Oh wow! So you're taking
I'm
Mingo
gonna go Mingo, but I think it's gonna be closer than what people say it's going to be, because the only time that Mingo's beaten Point Pleasant was on Jeremy Dillon on the final play of the game, which he blacked out when he threw the football, found Dawson Eli in the left back corner of the end zone. I thought he overthrew the end zone by about 15, 20 yards, but I've never saw 5,000 plus people pile out of a stadium as quick as they did that night. You know what I mean? So hopefully I got confidence in the Miners bouncing back.
Listen, Mingo Central, this is dangerous territory. You always worry about a team like this that, a lot of people say, the Mingo Central, is this, not, are we buying in too early on Mingo Central? Was it just they caught teams on the right week at the right time? That's what a lot of people are going to say. Mingo Central, this is very dangerous because you can't let one loss run into another loss. That's the scary part about this game.
And Mingo Central, for them to host a playoff game here on Miner Mountain, it's slim. The margin is slim. According to my calculations, it's not 100%. I try to do the best I can. I think Mingo has to win 8 games to get a playoff spot. I've done the calculations the last 24, 48 hours, and I'm not 100%. I just predict games, and I've been wrong on predicting games. I got Mingo finishing as high as 3 or as low as 14. Okay, there is a chance that Mingo can go 5-5 and still make the playoffs at 14. I've had Mingo Central going 9-1, play the 14 seed, and that team would have been Bluefield if things go to form, stuff. So you don't want that.
Well, Mingo Central's going to take care of business this week. I think they get back on the winning track.
Yeah, I got Mingo.
So David, don't pick that one. Tug Valley at Riverview.
Riverview was a power its first 2 or 3 years, and then they lose a lot of their kids over on the Virginia side, and they go everywhere else and stuff. They've really struggled for years. It's going to be too much. It's going to be a lot of Dawson Eli this next week. Dawson Eli is going to be a top performer of the week, and Ashton Davis and Buddy Markham and company. I'm going to go Tug Valley in this one.
There's a chance. Don't make any plans yet, but there may be a chance that we'll be there doing that one with RSN and HD Media with our partnership there. But I think Tug Valley is just going to be too much for Riverview. I think too much offense in this one.
Yeah, David and myself have Tug.
And this is a must win right now for Tug if you want home field advantage, because Tug Valley's only got one loss, but they're ranked 8th in Class Single A. So it's right now for Tug Valley, it's must win. And then you got to hope that your opponents win. And the loss, I like the strength of schedule this year that West Virginia, that the WVSSAC did, because they don't penalize you for playing tough teams, because they get points for every Mingo Central win. You don't drop as much. That's the reason why Mingo Central only dropped one spot last week from 5 to 6, because they got bonus points off of each Scott win.
Yeah.
So, and that's a game changer this year in the point system in West Virginia.
The undefeated Scott Skyhawks will host the Logan Wildcats.
I love Gary Mullins. Gary Mullins has done a great job since coming out of retirement, and he led Logan to the playoffs last year. He's my old Church League basketball teammate. That we pulled off a big upset several years ago at Logan East. He banked one from half court at the buzzer with his right hand, but he lost 18 seniors this year. Now I'm going to go with Scott. Scott's a championship caliber team, and Matt Fry is going to try to build on that Kennedy Award candidacy.
Yeah, I think that this one you're going to have Scott Skyhawks win big over Logan. I think that Logan, they're trying to get things back on track. The future is very bright there. If you've seen this Logan middle school team, I think best team. I think they are the best middle school football team in the mountains, and that's in Kentucky or West Virginia. And I think they take care of business. KJ, you got the upset?
No. Scott at Logan. Scott's probably about whatever they want to do.
All right. Who's David got? Scott?
Yeah.
Tyler Consolidated at Tulsa.
Tyler Consolidated.
They're undefeated, and Tulsa. They had a 2-game winning streak rolling, but Tug Valley derailed that. We'll see. Right now Coach Thompson has to do his best coaching job, trying to make sure that he can get this team back on track and to where that they was going, and don't let that loss right there end up messing you up for the rest of the season. I think Tyler Consolidated gets the win though, but this is a worrisome time for Tulsa Rebel fans.
Tulsa, they're still a young team, and Tyler Consolidated, they have been a power in Class Single A, and when they were in Class Double A as well, they've had a few down years, but for the most part, they've been on top of their game. And I tell you, I've always wondered why the Tucker counties and the Tyler Consolidateds are so good each and every year. Well, when I moved to North Central West Virginia, I've been through Tyler and Tucker County, and let me tell you what, there's not a Walmart, there's not much to do, there's a lot of farmland up there, so working on the farm, so I'm going to go Tyler Consolidated.
David has Tyler too.
All right.
We got J.C. Hensley, Logan Barker all saying D&D Bowl coming soon, Mingo Central and Betsy Lane. So that would be a good D&D Bowl, wouldn't it? That would be a good reason to kick that off. As we go to our final game, Wayne versus Herbert Hoover. Joey Fields coming up there. Does he have enough to upset Wayne at Wayne? Both of these teams, I think, are right. They're at the same area. They're at the fork in the road right now. They can both go either way. Which one do you got?
Joey got on to me last week on the phone, by the way. He called me out. Well, he was there. He called me up and called me back, and I told him I was going to go up to his place, last week, and he said, "You're off radio now, but by God, you're still making predictions." I said, what do you mean? He goes, you had David going 5-5 or 6-4. I said, yeah. I said, all right, big boy, you practiced with him back in June. What did you think like that? And he goes 7-3 minimum. Herbert Hoover's not this runner-up team as they were 1 year ago. They need some leaders on that team. Chapmanville's a young team.
Yeah.
Minor fans, if you think you're going to go up Crowley Creek and walk over Chapmanville, that's going to be a good game because
Coach Belcher,
Coach Belcher, because they could have laid down last week at halftime okay, down by double digits. They marched the field the third quarter, scored a touchdown, and they found somewhat of a passing game against Herbert Hoover. But Avery Pennell, 3 touchdown receptions. They still have Dane Hatfield at the quarterback position. He accounted for nearly 300 total yards, and they had the Fisher kid. Wayne, they're a team, man, that's just this much from getting over the top. You know, they lost a very...
Well, to get over the top, they got to beat the Wayne Pioneers.
Exactly. They just can't get over the hump right now. It's tough to go to Pioneer Field, but I'm going to go with Herbert Hoover in this one.
I'm going Wayne. I think Wayne.
It's a must-win. It's a must-win for the Pioneers. That's all I can
for
say.
both programs, really. I mean, I think both programs need this win.
I'm going Wayne too, man. I think the weather's going to play a lot in it, and a ground and pound football team.
Slow them down.
I just think if they can hold on to the ball, run on the ball, I believe they're just going to have time of possession, take control of the ball game, and I believe Wayne's going to pull the upset.
Yeah, who's David got?
He's got Hoover.
All right,
David, there we go, David. There we go.
KJ, we got college pick 'em. Who do we got where we pick against the spread here?
Kentucky at Georgia. Georgia is a 14.5-point favorite.
I tell you what, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen in college football this year. You know, there's no dominant team, and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I think Georgia wins, but Kentucky covers.
Every year there's an upset.
Yeah.
Every year. And, you know, I mean, college football has a upset that shocks the college football world. Right now, Kentucky fans are really pissed off that they screwed us out of the top 25.
Yep.
You know, so I think they go down to Georgia and they continue this undefeated streak.
Preach it, baby.
I think that Devin Leary, I think the receivers finally start catching footballs. I think they've caught lightning in the bottle with Ray Davis. And I know my man J.C. Hensley's with us on this one. No, he's going Georgia. J.C. I thought you was the Kentucky guy. No, I'm going UK. I think UK. I've been waiting for this. I've been to every UK-Georgia game in Lexington the last few times. And they've all been close, great environments. I do hate that this one is played. I would really like UK if this was at 12 o'clock. Yeah. It being at 7 o'clock, it's scary. But I'm going to take UK to cover the points.
It's hard to win between the hedges.
Yeah.
But I don't think Georgia is Georgia of last year or the year before or the year before. I think Kentucky covers the spread, but they don't win. But I think I think 10-point game, 8 maybe. But Marshall, David's got.
What's David got?
He's got Kentucky.
Here we go.
Yeah, he got Kentucky covering the spread. All right, Marshall at North Carolina State. North Carolina State is a 6.5-point favorite.
Marshall got behind the 8 ball last week. At number 0, that Callaway, man, he had like 231 yards on his first 9 carries. I'm like, please freaking just stop him on the last drive of the game. They did. I think Marshall covers, but they're not going to win at NC State.
That's me. I think Marshall covers, but don't win.
Yeah.
6.5-point spread, and NC State's just got to win by a touchdown. I think if NC State's going to win this game, it's going to be by a touchdown. So I'm going NC State to cover. And David's got NC State. Maryland 5-0 at number 4 Ohio State. Ohio State is a 20-point favorite, and Maryland's quarterback is Tua's little brother.
You would think I work up in Ohio throughout the week and stuff, and you think the way the Buckeyes are playing right now, they're the sisters of the poor. The way the Buckeye fans are going right now, but I think Maryland's 5-0, but. It is what it is. I think Ohio State wins. I think they cover.
I think Ohio State wins and covers.
Yep.
I've watched Maryland, man. They have some athletes on the outside.
Take them in, big boy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take them to win, but I think they
put some money up on there.
I think they cover. I think they cover a 20-point spread. Give me Maryland in a point.
We talked him into it.
Yeah. Put your paycheck on the line.
David has Ohio State. Yeah. Logan Marker said Maryland covers it. So he's right with me. Notre Dame as a 6.5-point favorite at undefeated Louisville.
Gosh,
that's
man.
a tough one.
Yeah.
I think the Dirty Birds win this one.
I can't stand Notre Dame, and
I can't stand Louisville.
I know. I'm gonna go Dirty Birds in this one. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go the red and white, baby. Is it at the Pizza Box? Oh, I'm all in on the Pizza Box.
So Joe you're a old-fashioned Baptist taking out on the Catholics, ain't you?
I'm a big Notre Dame fan.
Let's get the offering plate going.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Notre Dame in the points, and David's got Notre Dame too. And the last one, U-Pike at Reinhardt.
So David says L's down.
Yep, and Reinhardt is a 12.5-point favorite.
Man, we owe, because I used to broadcast U-Pike games for years, and oh my God, I snapped my headsets. There's only been 3 times that I've ever snapped headsets. 2005, when Belfry got off to that bad start and lost at Russell. If it wasn't for that flipping legal procedure
right now,
game,
Joe,
that'd been a 3-peat.
D&D can't afford a headset, so you better
I've already been warned, all right? The other 2 times was at Reinhardt. That was one time Reinhardt was 4th in the country. We had them down by 2 touchdowns with 7 minutes remaining in the game. Blew that one. One year they were like 5 or 6 in the country. Had them down at Reinhardt, and they ran a high school rushing offense, which was very efficient, okay? We blew that one. I think this is the year, baby. U-Pike is going to go down to Georgia, and they're going to pull off the victory.
I think they cover the spread. I don't know about the win. 12.5 is a lot. U-Pike's playing good. I'm with you. They might pull this upset, but I'm taking U-Pike in the point.
It's a decade overdue of winning down there at Reinhardt.
Listen, this offense is clicking right now for the Bears. I'm taking Lee Kirkland and crew.
Yep.
I think they take care of business. I think they get the win, too. As J.C. Hensley says, L's down Notre Dame on that one, so you didn't expect him to say anything else. So we see 2008 Belfry won, 2005 Paul Howard Jr. said Belfry won state championship, said his bad 03 and 04.
They didn't win it in 05. They won 03 and 04.
Yeah.
They won 03 and 04. Belfry would have won it in 05. They got off to that bad start, and I think it was Matt Maynard, man, had to chase the running back down. At Russell. And then
he had the funguitis that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little tidbit, he had, Matt's my little brother.
Right.
He wore gloves that game.
Oh, I know.
And ended up, he had funguitis and ended up hurting Belfry, but they should have won that ball game down there. That was a great ball game.
If they would have won that game, Belfry would have, I still believe to this day, Belfry would have 3-peated.
Well, Russell won state that year, didn't they?
I
don't think they did.
They get beat in the state championship game?
I think they got beat in the state title.
Yeah, somebody let us know that for sure there. As Joe, that's something I expected you to know and you didn't know. So
well, I don't know everything.
Yeah, so guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back for the final segment, we're going to give you the point spreads on the high school games. As we said, gambling is legal in Kentucky now. We don't condone gambling on high school sports, but we do want to say the Massey ratings so you folks can find them out. We'll be right back for the final segment. Don't go anywhere.
Here at Appalachian Medical, our team has extensive experience in dealing with respiratory disease. That's why we specialize in respiratory products and disease management. We want to bring our knowledge and know-how to help patients live a healthier life. Appalachian Medical was developed by clinical professionals. We have more than 30 years of combined experience in respiratory disease management, case management, critical care, and more. Our respiratory therapists are skilled and compassionate. With offices in Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, let us be the ones you trust with your medical health care. At Giovanni's Pizza in West Logan, we got subs, calzones, wings, pizza, and more. Stop by today. Great service with great deals. We also got a newly renovated and remodeled dining room where you can enjoy your game day celebrations or relax after a trail ride. We look forward to seeing you at Giovanni's in Logan, West Virginia. Call Restoration One, West Virginia's go-to cleanup crew. Don't let fire, wind, water damage ruin your property. Restoration One can get you back to 100% in the quickest time possible. Our staff here at Restoration One is fast, friendly, and reliable. We got experts that use the latest in technology to remove mold and damages left behind by Mother Nature. Don't just trust anyone. Trust Restoration One.
Come on down to Gilbert Produce Market, located in Gilbert, West Virginia. They have daily lunch and dinner specials, seasonal produce and plants, home-cooked meals and friendly service. They offer catering for special occasions and holidays, party trays, and they were also voted 2023 Coalfield's Best Milkshake and Community Market. You can catch them Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday to Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come on down to Gilbert Produce Market, located in Gilbert, West Virginia, 304-664-5600.
All right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time. The last segment is sponsored by the Loose Caboose Grill.
Listen, guys, the Loose Caboose Grill right now in Kermit, West Virginia. Joe, you're on the road all the time. As you go into Kermit, stop by that historical landmark, the Caboose there. They have turned it into one of the most booming restaurants in the mountains right now. And the thing that I like is you don't have to miss Friday night football. You can go there. They got the TVs going now. Jeff Kirk and them is taking care of the community while supporting mountain athletes through the Loose Caboose. It is the biggest it restaurant in the mountains right now.
The next time I'll be back in Mingo County, I got a PA announced on the 20th. Mingo and Roane County.
Yeah.
I'm going to Loose Caboose, man, on the 20th.
Okay, there we go.
That's where I'm going. I'm in.
So tell them D&D Sports sent you. As guys, it's Midnight Madness here on the mountains. As Joe said, we got Jacksonville State and Middle Tennessee State on the big screen as we've been watching all night here. As we got the final segment here, Joe Kinser, Darryl McCoy, David's on the phone watching, and producer KJ on the boards. As we want to thank you folks as we expect the numbers to dwindle down after 11 guys. This is a special since we have Joe on board. David Jones says he agrees with Paul Howard Jr. Most impressive play they had seen in high school football when Matt ran that guy down.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was behind 40, 50 yards.
Yeah.
And I was going to call it a touchdown. I was really ticked off, but I couldn't, but I had to call the play, and I was like, oh my God, he ran him down and forced that fumble.
I don't know if this still stands or not, but at one time Matt Maynard was the only player to ever score 7 different ways in a ball game.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's the kind of athlete he was. I still to this day, listen, Isaac Dixon, unbelievable running back. He's the GOAT there, but the two best pure athletes to ever come out of Belfry, I think, is David Jones and Matt Maynard.
They're up there. And I've seen Matt Maynard. I think Matt the year before was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And they'll say, Joe, who's the best high school football player you ever broadcast? They've been so many, okay? David Jones, and right up there is Doug Howard.
Yeah.
Doug Howard and everything. And, and a lot of people forget about Josh Holt at Mate One, man. I used to call him Hurricane Holt because every time I covered a Mate One game, that kid always got 15, 16, 17 tackles a game. But, man, I've covered a lot of them. But here's the thing about David. When he was at Mate One, the only thing that stopped him is he going to cramp before he gets into the end zone because you couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
His junior, when he went to Belfry, man, he turned into a blocker when he didn't have the ball. And him and Doug, Doug would I'll just be honest with you, he would stiff arm you straight to hell.
Yeah, yes, he would.
All the time. And so when I say David Jones, best player, high school player I've ever broadcast, man, Doug Howard's right up there.
Yeah, Logan Barker says he's got school tomorrow. Said him and Doug was the original Thunder and Lightning. I agree.
Yeah.
Still, I've not had a better time watching high school football than I did them years with David and Doug. I mean, them two. It was very rarely did you ever see two players that you knew. There was a good chance both of them would put up 200 yards every game, and they would also have 2,000-yard seasons.
You know who the unsung hero is? I'm not counting about the
G.
offensive line and Tyler Bostic, the fullbacks. The two, G. Childers and Tyler Bostic, the two fullbacks.
Yeah. And obviously they had a QB that knew how to run the offense, and I still this day say nobody runs that Belfry offense, that option like Paul Jr.
Yeah, like I said, Paul could throw it. And I can't remember where my debit card is right now, but I do remember Paul Jr. I don't know if Paul's still listening. They played, I believe, I It was some Kaywood. Yeah, it was Kaywood in the playoffs at Old Vipperman Stadium. Okay, first play of the game, man, it was a pass. Philip Haywood caught a pass play on the first play of the game, and Paul Jr. Threw a touchdown pass.
David says Paul was the key and held it all together. Yeah. Andrew Fletcher says 2015 was the best team in school history. I think that 2016 team was the best Belfry team to ever play.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot, because I like that 03 team. But that team though, they had so many. Zane Smith, they had Chewy. They had a lot of talent there. But guys, as we are moving on real quick, we're getting late into the action here, so I'm gonna bring up a couple things. Last week in the Marshall game, the two May sisters, Kevin May's daughters, Isaiah May's sisters, as Madison and Haley May. Haley cheers for Marshall now. Madison did cheer there. Marshall done a unique thing where they let the alum come back and cheer. First time through their whole life that they ever got to cheer on the same field, and they got to do it on the Thunder and Herd sideline last week. So congratulations to Madison and Haley for making that happen. And that's something that you always like to see happen for a family, and for it to happen right there in Huntington, that had to be a special moment for that family.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we've got a lot of Marshall graduates, in this area. So congratulations to those two sisters who got to cheer.
Yep. So let's see here. As I bring up the point spreads and go over them real quick here, and we'll let you know what's too little, too less. Montcalm is a 28.5 point favorite over Phelps. Johnson Central is a 40.5 point favorite over Rowan County. Shelby Valley 28.5 over Pike Central.
Too much.
Ashland 28.5 over Boyd County. Danville 21.5 over Leslie County.
They're saying that Danville's 0-6, but they play maybe a tougher schedule.
Again, this is the Massey ratings, guys, not D&D ratings. This is the Massey ratings. East Carter 14.5 over Fleming County.
Ooh, I might change that pick.
Too late now.
I screwed up.
Betsy Lane is 27.5 point over East Ridge. Lawrence County 35.5 over McGoffin County. Corbin 34.5 over Letcher Central.
Too low.
Too low.
Too low. Too low.
That's a bit bad, ain't it?
Morgan County 40.5 point favorite over Jenkins. Then Raceland, 47.5 point over Fairview. I think it's the biggest spread of the week. Hazard is a 3.5 point favorite over Paintsville.
Wow.
Dang.
So, do they know something we don't know, Joe?
Who's injured? Somebody must be out.
Yeah, so Whitley County, 8.5 point favorite over Perry Central. Estill County is a 26.5 point favorite over Powell County.
And I was the only one that picked Whitley County.
Yep. And you're going to get that wrong, too. Russell, 37.5 point favorite over Lewis County. That's too high. Way too high. Yep.
You think Julian Puente, does he play?
Puente,
yeah, Puente, he plays for them. He ain't going to stand for that.
No, Julian Puente, listen, I'm not kidding, one of the most underrated receivers in the mountains. This kid, I've had more fun watching him than maybe any player I've watched this year so far.
He leads the mountains in receptions on receivers by receivers.
Yeah, and if you watch him play, he's a lot like a Julian Edelman. I mean, they run their offense through that receiver. And it's unique to see a high school team do that, especially here in Eastern Kentucky, Southern West Virginia. West Carter, 37.5 point favorite over Bath County. Independence. Joe, you were going to be wrong on that when you took Bath County.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so Coach Barker and crew, can they cover the 37.5? Independence, 41.5 point favorite over West Side. Do they cover?
No.
Okay.
Too high.
Man, 24.5 point favorite over Shady Spring. Point Pleasant.
They cover.
11.5 point favorite over Mingo Central.
Wow.
I tell you, I mean, I'm picking Mingo Central, and if it wasn't for Point Pleasant's quarterback breaking his leg, okay, I mean that's the reason why they're 2-3. I know they beat a good Fort Fry, Ohio team last week. Point Pleasant did, but Fort Fry, they haven't played a tough schedule. I do know that, but you know, the Miners aren't getting any respect because they have been competitive against Point Pleasant the last 3 times.
Yeah, that's exactly what that 11.5 point favorite says. Tug Valley, 28.5 point favorite over Riverview. They cover. Scott, 34.5 point favorite over Logan. They cover. Tyler Consolidated, 37.5 point favorite over Tulsa. I don't know about that one.
No, they don't cover.
Herbert Hoover is a 31.5 point favorite at Wayne.
I'm falling out on my chair. No way.
Listen, nope. I want to know where I can bet that action. I want to know.
It's high school. It's high school, baby.
Yeah, so I'm taking that one.
Bet you a pepperoni roll.
But guys, listen, a lot of you folks are tuning in. We want you guys to go cover on Friday nights. You get to see a lot of great things at high school football games, including what we've seen in Martin County on Friday night with Bryston Wells playing the national anthem in full pads. This right here, it's what makes high school football so great in the mountains.
We have tonight's national anthem presented by Bryston Wells on guitar.
You want to stand up? Stand up here, Polly, before. Stand up, stand up, get your chair. Right here.
And guys, you can catch that whole video on D&D Sports on TikTok. Guys, yes, we do got TikTok. Go follow us on TikTok. We got all the social media sites. You get to see different stuff on every social media site. TikTok, you may see stuff you don't see on Instagram. Instagram, you may see not on Twitter. Facebook, same. Our website, you'll get to see stuff you don't see on any of the others. So our website is becoming the premier website for high school action. Make sure you guys stay following dndsports.com. Joe, if you want to get caught up on all the scores around the mountains, you can get up-to-the-minute updates on our website. At the top of it, there's a live scoreboard. Gives you up-to-the-minute updates on Friday nights while the games are going on.
And plus, there's fresh content on the website all throughout the day. That's how I got the news about Carrie Ann Cook winning at the state golf championship out of Wyoming County.
Great job right now, guys. And D&D is only what we are because of our sponsors, guys. We continue to grow and continue to give the mountains a presence that no other place has in the state of West Virginia or the state of Kentucky. Mountain athletes have a leg up finally, and it's because of our sponsors and you fans at home supporting D&D Sports Network. This weekend, guys, Friday night, Thursday night, Shelby Valley versus Pike Central, Citizens Bank Game of the Week, right here on the D&D Sports Network. We will have a crew at Corbin and Letcher Central on our Friday D&D Sports Network Friday Night Football. Logan Bank and Trust Game of the Week, guys. We will be over Man, West Virginia, as Man takes on
Shady Spring.
And then we got you and KJ will be at one of my favorite games of the week, Wayne versus Herbert Hoover. So a lot of action here on the D&D Sports Network on Friday nights. Guys, you do not want to miss it this week. Great week of football. Next week, we'll get you called up. But Joe Kinser, I want to thank you for making the trip down. I know I know you're a night owl. I knew you'd keep us here till midnight. But we hope you come back and join us, Joe. You bring a lot to the show.
That's the signal that I talk a little bit too much. I appreciate it, man. You and David and KJ let me help y'all out. This is the most fun I've had in quite a few years, to be honest with you.
Well, hopefully you come back, Joe. And guys, we want to thank you again for tuning in to the #1 football show in the mountains, Crunch Time, with Joe Kinser, Darryl McCoy, David Jones, producer KJ. Till next time, so long.